What's up, guys? Episode number 24. Books and Brewskies. I'm here with Shane and John.
Episode number 24.
24.
We got John here.
Kobe Bryant's number, man. Special episode today.
Say what's up to the people.
What's up, everybody?
Yep. I got it.
You might have to hold your mic closer to your face.
Can I hear me? What's up, everybody?
Now there's it.
Okay.
Now you got it. Nice. Episode 24.
Tonight-
we got a new beer.
tonight
New
we're-
book.
We're drinking Dry Dock Brewing Company, Aurora, Colorado. Pineapple Mango Blonde.
Which is
Mango Blonde.
good as shit.
It's super good.
Super good.
I like it. It's my favorite beer.
We
had.
rated it basically a 4.8.
I'm
out of
5 out of
5.
5. Shane was 4.5. He was wrong. It's actually a 5 out of 5, so we're rating overall 5, but really it's 4.8.
That's the highest rating so far, right?
If you followed that, it's a 4.8. Yeah, it is
John's
the
got
highest
a
rating.
Miller Lite over there. We didn't get an
What
extra
would you
beer.
rate your Miller Lite based on Miller Lite, Coors Light, and Bud Light?
6.
Nice.
Out of 10?
I used to be a Bud Light fan back then. And
I like Bud Light.
Yeah, I used to be a huge fan, and then I went to Coors because of Shane. Tried that, and I went back to Bud Light, and I was like, what? It does taste different, though. Like you could.
It does.
I
It
think
tastes a lot different.
You can taste
Miller Lite's the best out of the three, in my opinion.
Don't ever say that.
Coors Light's good, but I think Miller
Coors
Light's
Banquet.
yes. But if we're talking about the light beers, Miller Lite is the best.
I do like Miller Lite.
Anyhow, our Dry Dock Apricot. Oh, this is not Apricot Blonde.
Yeah,
It's
give-
like the Apricot
Give us a little
Blonde.
rundown
So,
about it.
the Pineapple Mango Blonde was based off of their Apricot Blonde because it was so popular. This is from the drydockbrewing.com website.
Why is it a limited release?
Because it's a summer can. They do.
So
they
it's just a
seasonal.
summer's
It's
can.
just summer.
Ooh.
It's like
I need to
back
keep
in the
this
day.
around because it's
What
nice.
Sam Adams used to do, like a October beer.
They still do.
Yeah, something like that.
There's
Like,
a lot of
Sam
beer
Adams
companies that
didn't
do that.
have a beer.
seasonal beers are important because
Samuel Adams.
people look forward to the seasonal beers. You can't get pineapple and mango in the winter,
Yeah.
Shane.
If Sam Adams had a beard,
Shut the
fuck up.
you don't get the fucking Happy Gilmore. Gosh,
know.
dude. You gotta say Sam Adams did have a beard. That's what you have to say.
A new twist on their quintessential fruit beer, Apricot Blonde. This misty golden ale is fermented with pineapple and mango. Crisp, clean finish, and just enough sweetness to make this a new favorite. For the record, it is paired great with coconut shrimp, fish tacos, dry cured maple bacon, Korean barbecue, eggs Benedict. I said I would like a sweet pork taco
Mm-hmm.
with this beer.
Sounds good.
That does
It
sound
would.
pretty
It would
good.
be
It
good.
really, I'm actually kind of hungry right now.
I know you're making me hungry now.
So
Nachos.
we rated a 4.8. Taco Bell doesn't have a taco.
4.8.
It's 10 o'clock. Taco
Why
Bell
do
does
they only
not
make
open.
pineapple mango? Why do they only make blondes? Why not brunettes? It's messed up.
You can have a brunette beer.
See what's going on in this world? That's messed up.
Shit, you gotta invent
Shut
that.
up.
Blondes, brunettes. What about redhead?
That would be an orange ale.
Yeah, orange.
How
What about blue?
how about
Huh?
the-
Green?
dirty blondes?
We don't have blue and green beer. You get green beer on St. Patrick's Day. You
True.
get orange beer on Sunday at Broncos games because they give you orange
Christian
beer.
loves the orange beer.
Yeah. You know what? I'm
He's
pissed
like,
off.
"Go
I don't get to go to
Broncos."
Broncos games this year because they're not letting fans into the stadium.
Oh,
It's messed up.
It's okay. COVID-19. Thank you.
Yeah, we don't
for-
need to talk about all that shit.
Yeah, it's been
I'm over it.
Over it.
Super over
They're
it.
it's
gonna
been
lock us
5
down.
months already, or what? It's been
Yeah.
a while.
I
They're
don't
gonna
know. I
lock
don't
us
know.
down again, and then
We're going to be getting drunk on apricot blondes and mango
literally
pineapple blondes. Shane's down on
pineapple
beer.
blondes.
You-
It's honestly the best beer I think we've had on the show.
Yeah, that's why we rated it the best beer that we had.
I'm
on
just
the show.
saying, like, I'm being honest. I'm telling everybody honestly, it's the best
Yeah.
beer we've had.
People actually need to go buy this. Go try it out. Give us a review
Just-
on our page.
And Shane's not
We'll put it
endorsing,
up there.
not endorsing Dry Dock. We're not paid to say this is the best beer in the world. This is the best beer. I'm like being
Not in
honest.
the world, but like
yeah,
best beer we've had.
I've never had the best beer in the world, so I don't know what that is. You know what we should do?
You guys figure that
Super
out.
random side note. We should take all of the boys. We should go to Oktoberfest in Germany.
you guys
Yeah.
should vlog that and put that.
Yeah,
put it on
100%.
You guys'
Like
YouTube channel.
our whole a whole
Oh,
trip
yeah,
with
that's
all
under
of us.
the
Just-
boys.
Let's go to the
It's our
Oktoberfest.
playlist
Let's
right
go to
there. Boys and
Oktoberfest.
beers.
You guys should incorporate that though. Like, do vlogs like that. Gotta.
Yeah, that's what we were gonna do,
But
and
then
then
COVID.
COVID.
Oh yeah, true.
hit.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So yeah, we'll be doing that here. But
We wouldn't pick up
anyways,
stuff from Tivoli.
new month, new book. Go ahead, Christian. Wanted to say the book because he picked the book this month. So
I did pick this book.
you picked last month too. So
Yeah, and I'm picking next month too, because I already know what book we're doing next month.
he wants to stay with. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so this month we're doing "Can't Hurt Me" by David Goggins. Dude's a fucking badass.
I can hear you.
Intense book.
Super intense book. Not recommended for young children under the age of 13.
Actually.
Like
Under the age of 13.
I don't know.
More like
Just,
18.
Straight up, like this book is like, there's some shit.
And for mature.
Yeah, it's a mature audience only.
So 17 or older.
Stay hard.
Stay hard. Yeah. No, I've heard a lot of good things about it. I've never read it. But a lot of people have said so. Have you read it?
I would listen to the audiobook. I
Like
think I
the
got,
podcast audiobook type thing.
No, like their
No, the whole book,
the
right?
whole audiobook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is the
So-
same thing. So, yeah, you read
Hey, it's
we'll
the same.
listen to it.
No,
yeah.
so I highly recommend, if you're going to listen to this book, if you're going to read this book, listen to the David Goggins audiobook on Audible, because
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, that's
they
what I'm
break
doing.
it, like
Yeah.
Goggins is there and they break it down, and it's damn near a podcast. So they'll like read a chapter and then Goggins will
really?
like chime in here and there.
Exactly. Yeah.
And like it's like full on podcast. Like he'll give his insight, like what was going on at certain points, and like talk about it.
Yeah.
And it's so much, you're so much more into it than I feel like a regular podcast would be, because it's not, or not a podcast, a regular audiobook would be, because
Yeah,
you're not just
'cause
listening
it's
to
interactive.
like I'm listening to Chip Gaines' book right now. We
Yeah.
did that one a few months ago, but
And Christian didn't read it.
Yeah, I
just
didn't.
did. So now he's like.
so I'm listening to that one right now, and it's good, but it's, and like Chip
It's
Gaines
not
is reading
interact-
it, but it's not as
Chip Gaines,
yeah,
yeah.
it's not as interactive as like David Goggins is in this book.
Yeah.
And everything that David Goggins, everybody sees on social media, that's like this whole book, it literally will tell you why this dude's so fucking, and it's not, he's not even saying, the dude's just so fucking locked in, he can't, he just goes.
Yeah.
Well, John, you've read it. Go ahead. We'll give him just like a. You don't need an overview, but like a preview of what you thought about it, and then kind of like some things that stuck out to you, I guess.
Yeah, so I mean, when I listened to it, it was mainly during my workouts, but it's definitely a book that'll make you question yourself.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
really?
Like
100%.
question like whether you're working hard enough, and then whether in
Every
the
day.
past have you worked hard enough about in certain things that you're trying to pursue. And that's like, it's actually a super challenging book mentally, but especially when you're listening to it and you do get Goggins' personal perspective on like certain events that happen in his life. But he's definitely faced a lot of challenges, and I highly recommend everybody listen to it. I
Yeah.
would prefer to listen to it than actually
100%.
because with what you said, he pauses on each like important section and then elaborates on exactly what was going
Yeah.
on. So
And
Yeah.
so the dude that they read it together, he was the dude that kind of wrote it with him.
yeah,
Like,
because he
like-
actually, I remember him. It's been a little bit. It's been a couple months since I read it or listened to it, but he actually like asked him questions.
Yeah, so he'd like
And then
randomly
think about it.
stop
Yeah.
like in mid paragraph. He's like, "Dude, I gotta stop," like,
Yeah.
and starts talking to Goggins about it.
So that
and
yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know, and they talk about, so they read this book. So when they did this like a little audiobook, they did it over like 4 days, and they like rented out like a studio, like kind of like our shit that we
Really?
set up. Yeah, and so like they would literally just stop on a dime, like, "Dude, that's crazy," like, and then go into it. And like John said, the book challenges the shit out of your brain. Like you're listening to this, like, dude, like I'm a fucking pussy.
Yeah, it makes you like question your manlyhood.
What hard work is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like when I honestly, it was hard for me to listen because I honestly thought, especially myself in college with football, with me thinking I was underdog and all that stuff, that I worked extremely hard. And then since when I read this book, it made me question whether if I worked hard enough or not, and that's hard to like accept, especially
Yeah, to like.
when you truly think
You don't
like,
want to regret that, like you
Yeah, like,
didn't
did I-
put everything that you
exactly, and you're like especially me, like I question myself, like did I actually like
did. Yeah.
worked hard enough to
Yeah.
like, get to where I was, and could
Well,
I
I
could have
think-
gone further if I,
I think
worked
it's
even
tough.
harder.
I think like a book like this though, like hearing that, it's tough because it's the mindset that you were in and
Yeah.
how young you were, and it's hard to fathom like what you were thinking at the time, what else you had going on with your life, until you put yourself into that mindset, until you grow enough to get to that mindset, then it changes everything.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can't regret. At some point in time, like we all got to learn, at some point in time, you don't know where you stand. And when you're younger, it's like you're thinking you're putting everything in that you thought you could do at that point in time.
Yeah.
And then you grow older and you realize, well, I could have done more, but you weren't in that mindset. You didn't know more. You know what I'm saying? You haven't grown yet to do what you needed to do at that time. So that's what's different. But
even still,
because he
dude,
was,
like,
wasn't
he makes you question it. Like even if you like can be like,
how
I'm
young
not
was he
regret
when
it.
he went? Because he was a Navy SEAL, right?
Bro,
how
so
young
He
did
went
he
in the
go?
military. He was young.
He was young.
18.
He was
18.
Yeah. So, not to give too much of the book. I mean, you gotta. I mean, either way, you're gonna listen to it.
Well, just get
like,
the background story
his
of him. So he was a Navy
If you listen to his
SEAL.
childhood, that like perspective,
Yeah.
you could tell why he was so tough based on on his childhood.
The shit
back
he
in the
went
day.
through growing
Yeah.
up, and like all the shit that he like the moving around and whatever he was dealing with in whatever chapter those first like 4 were. It's
Yeah.
like holy shit. Like he went through
You can
more
tell
than
why.
probably what a person would go through in their whole life in the first 10 years of his life.
Yeah, you could tell why he
And-
was the way he was.
Yeah. And so for him to get into he went to the Air Force first, right? He was trying to be
he was
he was trying to be a jumper out of a plane at first.
Yeah.
I'm
That's what my
90% sure.
A sports psychologist teacher was a jumper.
pararescue.
Yeah, pararescue.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
pararescue.
So he's trying to go to
Yeah.
pararescue school, and I don't think he got into it or he got kicked out of it for some reason. I can't remember off the top of my
Yeah,
head.
because
what it
he was too big.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he lost all that weight.
He ended up going. I think he was in the Air Force. I can't. I don't
I
want
know. I
to
just finished it literally 2 weeks ago. I can't.
Yeah, it's been like a couple months since I listened to it, but I think he was in Air Force chilling. He's doing basic cleaning, or like he's doing some janitor.
Dude, he was
stuff.
he was doing some janitor stuff, like
For a
super
couple
easy
years,
stuff, and then
yeah.
he like I guess he got from my following. I remember he like gets out of the military for a brief period of time.
Yeah,
and was
and then
working as like a cockroach dude that would literally go into restaurants in the middle of the night and like
Spray
fumigate
the
them and like
cockroaches.
spray them, right?
Yeah.
And so there was one night, and this one was like he literally dropped like left his like something happened, and he left his shit in the restaurant that he was in and just fucking never went back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think I heard that on his Instagram. Now
Yeah.
now that I heard him and Joe Rogan have the podcast, and
Yeah.
he
Oh,
talked
it's a good
about a little
podcast.
bit of that. He talked about just
Yeah.
dropping everything, and he said if
At that
he
point-
was
at that
like
point,
he
he
was like is
350
this what I'm
pounds.
gonna be doing the rest of my
'Cause-
life? And he was like, this is not who the fuck I am. And he just said I left out, I walked out.
Yeah, because I think he
So-
used to get Taco Bell every night after work.
It
or
was
something.
a milkshake. It was a chocolate milkshake on the way home
Or
every
some-
morning.
yeah,
He'd like
something like
on his
that.
way
It was
home, and
like-
he'd go to his mom's house. He'd get like a milkshake. He'd go to his mom's house. His mom
Yeah.
would make him his breakfast or whatever it was. It was like a bunch of pancakes, waffles, bacon, eggs, all that shit. And he would like throw it down. Like this is talking like college like lineman at
Yeah.
breakfast the first
Well, he
week
was a
you're
big
there.
dude.
He was a
Yeah.
big dude. He gained
So,
a lot of weight.
He was like
Yeah.
350, something like some crazy number, like 350, like 6'4", 350 or something like that. I don't know if he's that tall, but then tries to go to the fucking SEALs, and in a 2-month period, this dude has to lose like
He said like 80 pounds.
like 100
or something.
pounds, bro. He had to get down
He
to like
said
240.
Yeah, like 80 pounds or something like that.
Yeah. And then he had to take the ASVAB test over and over again until he passed it,
Yeah.
which is like the military like entrance exam.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Dude's fucking like he's not like people are like, oh, he's fucking insane. Like no, this dude just fucking has a mental like shit to it. And I'll tell you right now, this book
He's just
after I finished
mentally-
it, so I started running again, like full on just like on the treadmill at Lifetime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. To the point where it's like before I was like, all right, I'll run as like 30 minutes, like off on walking, whatever. My ass, like right after I finished this book, I was like, I'm just gonna do a mile, and then all of a sudden I'm fucking halfway through a mile. I'm like, this isn't even that bad, and then I did like 2, and
It
then
is
I ended up
bad.
walking the 3rd.
Yeah.
But like I was like, I don't want to be a bitch. Like I literally started thinking to myself the way he would like talk about how he thought. I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, God, a mile is really not that much. Like I don't want to walk. Like I'm not gonna be a bitch right now. And it would fucking
Yeah.
just self-talk myself into just keep going and going and going and going.
Well, that's
Yeah.
what life is, though. It's like
Yeah.
a self battle with everything. But yeah, running's definitely. I picked up running again. I've been
Running's
running
ass.
a lot.
I like it though. I mean,
Yeah.
like, I want to do it every day.
It's hard,
it's a-
especially if you've been just lifting
It's
all
a
the
good-
time.
It's
a
a
good-
mental
it's a
clarity.
to-
It's a
a
mental
totally different
clarity.
like challenge
Yeah.
than lifting for sure.
But like I said, I think
I've been
for a
on the
little
last 3
bit,
days.
like I said, when I was swimming, I thought that was like a same type of feeling when you're running. You just kind of clear your head,
yeah.
and you
So,
just get a whole different.
He talks
feeling.
about the 40% rule that he came up with, like in his brain. And I know
Yeah, he said
Jocko
when-
talks about this a lot too. And the whole Navy SEAL mindset is like your brain kind of cuts you off, and you still have 40% like effort left to give.
Yeah.
So like this dude talks about how you have to like find a whole new mentality to get to. Like you have your mentality of like those dudes that'll go, 100 miles or whatever on a run, but then you have the guys that can like lock themselves in so much that they just don't give a shit about anything, and they just run and run and run, or like whatever they're doing. Yeah. Right. And that's like, he like even warned people like, don't try to get to this mindset unless you're really ready to get to this mindset. Yeah. And he like talks about how he found it, and like, the cool thing about the book overall is the fact that he like after every book has a challenge. Yeah. And I didn't like do any. I was listening to the book. I'm driving, so I can't like stop and start writing shit down. But he gives a challenge after every chapter to like help you go harder, go faster, like whatever you're thinking about doing, or like be tougher, like in his mind, like get harder, like mentally callous your mind.
Pretty much just to question yourself. Yeah. Making sure you're
the big one, I don't remember what after chapter it was, but it was the accountability mirror, where he would like imagine himself looking into a mirror and like almost like telling himself he's a bitch.
But I mean, hearing whatever one has said about it, and the way that he pushes himself so hard, like mentally and physically. It's all about, a lot of it's about him, like him in his own battle. Like he's just facing himself the whole time. Wow. And like that's like super, well, for a lot of people it's super inspirational, first of all, because it's like this guy's literally pushing his mind to his limit, and that's what he lives for. And the tough thing is, what I think about it is, if you want to live for that, I think you go like his route. But I also have looked at like life in a different way of, you can push yourself mentally and physically, but it doesn't have to be about like, I got to go run 100,000 miles or 100 miles. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And like the way that he wants to do it, he gets his reward off of, I want to literally kill myself till I can't walk anymore. And that's how he think is like, if you want to be hard as fuck, like that's what you have to do.
He's never satisfied. Like,
I'm just saying.
He went and ran, what was it, the San Diego 100 or the Badlands or whatever, and he's like, I need more. Yeah. And like he didn't even fucking do well in the first one. He was like, I need more, and he was never like satisfied with even like winning something. Like when he finished Army Ranger School, he literally wasn't satisfied. He literally went back to the SEALs and was literally already like going again.
But what I'm saying is like the life that we live in, if you're thinking of doing other stuff, there is different compartments that you can put your hard work and mental and physical fatigue. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. He puts it all in literally physically killing himself, and then mentally trying to get past what his physical boundaries are. That's his like mindset of that. All I'm saying is like, I think a lot of people, the world that you live in, if you have other callings or if you have other ways to go about it, you can still, if it's career, whether it's like intellectually, learning new things of like taking yourself to the limit, pushing yourself to the limit, weightlifting or whatever it is, I think there's just different aspects that you can go about that. Because sometimes I think we get these high people that are very inspirational, these type of guys that are like, you just got to be able to go out there and run 100 miles, and like if you not, you're a pussy. Well, it's like, it's more like, what are you like? What do you? That's his life. That's what he wants to do in his life. But there's also very inspirational people that do it in other ways. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think
he wants to do it physically to kill himself and know how to do it mentally, which is inspirational. And I think you need to have that mindset. All I'm saying is there's other ways depending on what you do in this life. So like I don't take it as like,
with the book, a lot of people resonated with it differently. Yeah. Like for myself, now I question every day if I'm doing enough. Yeah. Like last night, for example, I sat on my phone for 30 minutes. I'm like, well, fuck, I could have done so much other shit during that 30 minutes. Or like the fact that like now I want to accomplish 8 things before I go to bed when I get home from work, instead of like 3. Like I'm always now wondering like, did I do enough to push myself 10 steps further than the next guy or whatever it may be. And so like for me, that's how it resonated with me is like I need to push myself harder, farther, and like in that even like workouts. Like I'll leave a workout, I'm like, did I do enough?
Yeah.
And so it's like
workouts and stuff like that. But what I'm saying,
I'm just saying like
you run 100
miles.
miles. If you run 100 miles, he does 100 miles. How long does that take?
24 hours.
Okay, 24 hours. So that's what I'm saying. So is your aspiration to go run 24-hour 100? That's all I'm saying.
Understand.
You get what I'm saying?
It's like what you're trying to say. It's like,
so like you said, you took it in different ways. Like that's what people need to take it in. Is like, no, you don't got to go run 100 miles. That's not what you want to do. That's not what you want to do. He wants to do that because that's what he feels is rewarding to him.
Well, yeah.
What I'm saying is, don't be a little bitch if you're trying to make yourself work hard. It's about now, what are you leaning towards? Like, what is your dreams? What are your goals? That's what you got to work hard towards and put in the time and the hours. I think that's what he tries to get to. His explanation is through physical pain.
Yeah. Well, I think
basically
you got to listen. You'll listen to the book and you'll understand. Really, like it's not necessarily his whole book's not about physical pain, right? It's about like that's the way he pushes himself, and it's just because he feels that he is continually pushing himself to a new level every single time. Like the first time, so for him to qualify for the first long distance run, what are those called, ultra marathon or whatever, he was told he had to go run 100 miles or whatever in 24 hours, and this was 3 days before the race for him to qualify for this next one. So this dude, and 99% of the people have heard this story because it's all over YouTube. It's been on every podcast. He's talked about it 100 times.
I think he did leg day before that too, or something.
Yeah, it was he had Ritz
formal
crackers and like Gatorade at the race and a lawn chair. So this dude's at a track just running laps, and I think he said around 50. It was before that, around 50, he started having like heart issue, like something was going on with him. Like he couldn't feel his legs. He was bleeding. He was like whatever, and then he ends up shitting himself while he's before the last like 25 miles.
Podcast,
And so this dude just like finds a whole nother level to push himself. If he wants something, he'll go after it, and he's not satisfied. And I think that's the biggest thing that people need to take away with it. For me, it's not being satisfied with the little things. Like you have to continually be pushing yourself to get to a new level or achieve something else.
Oh yeah.
Otherwise, you're just going to be complacent as fuck, and you're going to be a fucking pussy.
I mean, it's hard. It's tough. I mean, everybody's different, honestly.
Yeah, 100%.
Like what Shane said, it depends like what your purpose is. Like, what are you trying to pursue?
Yeah.
And what's fulfilling? Because ultimately, if you're going to live, I mean, if he finds fulfillment in that, go ahead.
100%.
Run 1,000,000 miles.
Yeah.
Do you want? I mean, you have one life, honestly. Like,
If
you're going to do that and you find that fulfilling, okay, then do that. If you're trying to pursue a goal and this is what you got to do, then do that. It's ultimately like trying to figure out what your goals are and then what you have to do to achieve those goals, right? And it's more about discipline rather than like the amount of what you do in a single day or a single event. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
I think
it's a long game.
Yeah, it's a long game, and that's what we were talking about. I think the one thing that I like love hearing from him is, I think at one point in your life, there needs to be something that happens to you that you test your human spirit. And I think like he kind of gets to he says it a lot, but almost that feeling that you test yourself and you push yourself to the absolute, whether it's physically, mentally, whatever you did. But if you've all had that moment where you push yourself in one situation, or in one high adrenaline situation, or in one big instance that like literally you felt you tested your human spirit, like he lives off of that. But it's kind of crazy that some people will never ever feel that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's kind of cool, because having this one life, like, it's kind of cool. Like on his end, I think that's like, it does give you like kind of excitement to hear like, shit, I ran 100 miles and he was like, I was fucking dead, and he lived through that, and he gets to sit there and say, push the human spirit, basically.
Yeah,
You push the human spirit to the next. It's kind of those mile markers when, back in the whatever it was, the 80s or whatever, and they're like, humanly impossible to run a 4-minute mile, and then someone breaks that.
And then
like, it's
break
cool
it,
to
break it.
see the boundaries that people set, and he is definitely one of those milestones that he set this boundary of like, this guy literally tested the human spirit of how long you can run.
It wasn't,
and
even
it's
that.
cool to like see that.
He tests himself over and over again. I mean,
yeah, and he keeps
you look
doing
at
it.
it, and it's like this dude goes to Hell Week number 1. It was like both legs were fractured or some shit, and he had to stop.
Yeah.
Then comes back 3 months later, does it again. Or it was pneumonia the first time, and it was legs the second time, or something like that.
Yeah.
Third time he comes back, legs are bothering him again.
Yeah.
He was told he's not going to make it through. This motherfucker comes through 3 Hell Weeks and becomes a SEAL after the 3rd Hell Week within a year. Like, testing the human spirit together. Like, if you don't know what Hell Week is, you need to go look it up on YouTube or listen to the chapters in the book where he talks about Hell Week, because it sounds like hell. And I mean, last night I somehow got in a rabbit hole on YouTube of Bud's training, and the shit they go through. Like, all those dudes are fucking badasses, and they find a whole nother level of fucking just grind and grit and whatever the hell it is, because they have a whole mentality to get to a whole nother level of.
No sleep, man. 24 hours training.
But I think the first instance that he did that to himself, whether that was the first run or whatever, I think he felt what it felt like, and now he's addicted to it.
He's fucking addicted.
He's addicted to it. And it's like, it could be a negative or a positive thing, but it's one of those things where it's like, he was like, have you ever... Almost what I was saying with C.T. Fletcher when he had the
heart
podcast.
Stuff.
Yeah, the heart stuff. And he said when he had the heart transplant, he said when his heart stopped, and he said it stopped for like 20 seconds. And he woke up.
Oh, and he
and he said, no, he died. Yeah, he said he died.
Yeah,
he basically died. And then he came back. And he said for those 15 seconds, it was the most blissful feeling I've ever felt in life. Feel like that. Just think all of your stresses, everything that you have on your mind just goes away.
Yeah.
And you're just chilling. And I think, in a way, if you want to kind of connect this, I think David Goggins gets a blissful feeling when he destroys himself. I think he just gets a blissful feeling of like, literally he's living his life to the absolute full potential that a human can take. And he loves it.
Yeah.
I think he's actually truly passionate about trying to destroy himself.
He's tested the human body to the absolute breaking point over
which
and
is kind of
again.
cool. But when you say on a lower level, what's a lower level that humans get addicted to? We got addicted to
Xbox and being fat.
No, but football.
Seriously,
you get addicted on football. You get addicted to the adrenaline rush in games.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't like it, but then when you're done, though, you're like, shit. Like, you like that adrenaline. There's something about it.
Something about the pain.
There's something about pain. I'll tell you
right now.
There's always something about pain that feels good. You don't like it, but you're like,
it's the addiction
you want to
of
touch
getting
it.
underneath 600 pounds underneath
It's like
the squat bar.
Yeah.
Or it's like the hot stove where you're like, I know it's hot, but fuck.
There's
but then you're like,
there's 100%.
No, but there's always something that you're like always thinking about.
Something you like it.
Yeah,
like you want it. Like
you always want it.
There's something fearful. Like, you get underneath 350 pounds on a bench, or you get underneath 600 pounds on a bar.
Yeah.
Like, that shit could snap you in half, and you could fucking die. Like,
true.
dude, it crosses my mind almost every time I go to grab a bar. Like, I had 450 on the bar yesterday. I'm like, this shit could fuck me up, but I like it.
It's like, he's an adrenaline junkie. I mean, and there's a lot of like people who do that. Whether people who go, skiing down those freaking backcountry skiers that just go down those cliffs and stuff. They're adrenaline. Yeah.
You ever seen those videos at Jackson Hole when they open that little jump off the cliff? And it's like a fucking straight vertical, and you like ski out and you do a backflip and land, and you're down like 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Like, that shit's
People
insane.
live for that.
I would do that.
People live for that. Adrenaline.
The
adrenaline.
jumping off an airplane. What are those?
Skydiving. Yeah.
No, but just stuff like that, or like,
But
waterfall jumpers, or like.
But doesn't that get dangerous though? Honestly, because I mean, like drugs, right?
Yeah.
Right. People get addicted to drugs
Yeah.
in the sense of like when you're always searching for the highs, there's always gonna be a low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you're always searching for the highs, in the sense of, I'm not saying doing all these intense, rewarding workouts and whatever it is, it's bad. But I'm saying getting addicted to it could be, in the sense of it could be devastating, where you're hurting yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and then in the future, like what I said earlier, like playing the long game.
Yeah.
More like, it's more about like being consistent and disciplined rather than like shooting for the highs.
Yeah.
But
that's what I'm saying with him is, what does he want out of life? And clearly what he wants out of life is to just push himself to the limit, and as he breaks bones and feels like shit, he's okay with that. And when he's 80 years old, he's okay with that.
How old is he now?
But he knows the consequences. But he knows the consequences, and he doesn't want to give up about it. So that's his life. But like I said,
but he's gonna have to face the consequences.
Yeah,
and
he's gonna have to face the consequences.
And we're not gonna know until then how he's gonna face those situations, because he can't.
Watch him be perfectly fine because he's a fucking badass.
Yeah, watch him just be.
Yeah.
But like honestly, he's been facing issues.
Yeah, but I think he lives for it, and that's his life. But that's what I'm saying.
He's 45 years old. He's done so much.
Yeah, but has it become an addiction? Is the real question.
Yeah.
Like, is it?
Yeah, like,
because
like I said, what do you truly want in life? What do you want to put your time and effort into? He wants to put his time and effort to that. If you're a different person where you're like, hey, I want to put my time and effort to, you know, family, learning, my career. Do you want to be more broad, like spectrum of like, I want to have different areas that I want to put my time into? Do you want to be more narrow focused on something like that? Like, everyone's going to have a different opinion. Are you going to be more money focused? Clearly he's not money focused. He just wants to, you know, do what he wants to do is push himself. Some people, like, I don't know, that, you know, the Amazon Jeff Bezos, like, clearly he was focused on like, I want to make a ton of money, I want to make this Amazon, I want to more the intellectual side of society and do that. And that's what, so could we say that he pushed himself to the limit? I mean, yeah, you could say he pushed himself mentally to the limit, not physically, but mentally.
Oh, yeah, he
so it's just
did.
so it's just one of those things. Is like, what do you want out of life? It just depends on what you want.
What about him?
But that's why it's hard not to, like, you can't really judge people, because it's like, some people don't want to have that. Some people do want to have this. Some people don't want to have a family. Some people, you know, it's just it's like, weird.
Because there's always side effects to pursuing those things, right? If you're going to dedicate your whole life, there's always sacrifices, right? And some people would rather be living peaceful lives, because they honestly probably have their perspective of, I only have one life. Why pursue all this money or all this fame that's only going to last a short while?
Well, that's what's true. Like, I mean, like you say, we only have one life. Now, what do you? You want to waste your time? It's crazy. It's your perspective. Yeah, it's your perspective.
I mean, like, if you want to,
because some people will say like, "Oh, why would I go around 100 miles and go destroy my body physically and not feel good when I'm?" But that's what I'm saying. But people are going to have different mindsets of the perspective of it, and then other people are going to be like, "You know what? I would rather live my life peacefully, or I would rather feel, you know." And it's not just about being soft, but it's about, what do you want to spend your time in, and what do you care about? Yeah, it's just, what do you care about?
Everybody's different. You're not going to find. I mean, not everybody's going to be David Goggins, obviously, but in the sense of, there's people out there that would rather choose not, even though if they had the capability, they would rather just choose to live a peaceful life with their family, their loved ones. That, in their perspective, matters, I guess.
Yeah.
But
it's crazy.
But then there's people like David Goggins that find joy and fulfillment in pushing their limits. Man. Yeah, and there's
crazy. I love it.
And it's probably mostly in men, because men are just testosterone driven, and
we're addicted to craziness.
Yeah, but once again, we only, like, people could choose whatever life they live, and thank God we're in America, where we pretty much have the freedom to choose whatever path we want to go on.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's crazy, because I feel on his side, pushing himself to the limit, and then physically dealing with a whole bunch of issues that he has to deal with now. Then I'm on the side of, I want to push myself physically, but then I also want to recover properly and heal myself, so I know that I can still enjoy time when I am older for me that I know I worked myself hard, but I know that I took care of my body. So that's like the different mindset of that is like he worked himself physically hard and he's destroying himself, but now he's got to deal with the physical pains of what he's doing. But then on this side, like us being trainers too, it's like I want to push myself hard physically, but then I want to recover my ass so I can actually push myself again and to a point. But his mindset is he's just going to keep pushing through the pain, which that's fine. I mean, that's what he believes in. But it's all different perspectives.
Yeah.
It's all
different
perspectives.
I don't know, man. I like.
What do you believe longevity is for you?
I get shit, and I give myself shit for not recovering or pushing myself to recover more. Like, I foam roll, and I rarely stretch, but I foam roll. But I will lift heavy every single day because I fucking love lifting heavy.
Yeah.
But I don't like think about the recovery piece because I'm like I can just go do something else tomorrow. Like I go into the
I could
lift
recovery about that. I'm talking about
I know,
like full
I'm just saying,
nutrition. I'm talking about full lifestyle, how you live mentally, how you feel every day of like, am I depressed on this? Do I like, you know what I'm saying? It's all lifestyle. It's about like how you live is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Eventually it becomes every day is your life is the day that you're living.
Yeah.
If you don't consistently have a good lifestyle, you're not living good. Like people are like, well, I didn't do this yesterday. But
just imagine this though. Like just one day, tomorrow, somebody takes your life. I mean, like, if somebody kidnapped you and you're literally at gunpoint,
Wayfair,
and you reflected and you're like, I worked my ass off my whole life, and I spent no time with my family or friends.
Yeah,
and I just worked my ass off, and you're at gunpoint. What you think? I mean, like, are you going to be happy with that?
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I always.
Well, that's always the question. If you would die tomorrow, would you be happy with
exactly? So I emphasize.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, everybody always talks about this, but you seriously do need a life balance. Like, you need, in a sense of living a fulfilled life, you need hard work, but also relationships, family, friends, and all that. You need all that to live a sustainable, fulfilled life. It's
well, that's I mean, that's for the perspective of it. That's what I'm saying is like
yet again there's people on the, I mean, you have if you got data, there's people going to be on the outskirts of like exaggerating work or like people loving work and finding fulfillment in that.
Yeah, and then sacrifice relationships for career.
Yeah, exactly.
Sacrifice career for relationships.
Yeah, some people do find joy in just working all the time and not don't care about relationships or friends, whatever it is. Yeah. But possibly, I mean, David Goggins got a divorce. I mean, he's multiple divorces. So it's like,
I think he's on his third or fourth now.
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm just saying, like,
that's what I'm saying. When you're doing that to yourself, he's sacrificing his passion for his pushing himself to the limit.
I mean,
for relationships, he's sacrificing relationships. That's what I'm saying.
But if he's at gunpoint, I mean,
at some point we were talking about the cleaners and stuff like that, and I was telling John about the book. At some point, whatever you choose to do, if you're gonna be have that type of attitude and you're be like, I'm 100%, I'm going in this. At some point, there will always be something sacrificed. Yeah. No matter what it is. Whether it's relationships, whether it's your career, whether it's a loved one, whether it's kids' life, whether it's playtime, whether it's, recovery, whatever it is, you're going to have to sacrifice something when you are so drawn into something else. It's just a part of life. Now, some people will fulfill, like John was saying, like, do you want to be the one who is your lifestyle that you can balance everything, but not, you got to make sure, when you balance stuff, it's hard to be super great in one area. Yeah. You can be good in all other areas. So, that's the hardest thing.
Well, like what you said, though, like you have the choice of making that sacrifice. So I'm going to, and obviously throughout life, as you get older, just life in general, it's a roller coaster ride where life balance it's never going to be balanced, right? You're always going to make sacrifices, whether that's work, friends, family. Let's say in our 20s right now, we're probably sacrificing friends and family for a career, right? Yeah. I mean, majority of us right now are probably at that time where we're putting our careers above or just as our main priority.
Relationships. Yeah,
because I mean, in the future, we're expecting to have families and stuff, so we want to provide, obviously. But yet again, there's that, life. It's a good. you could try to pursue life balance, but yet again, you have to make sacrifices, like you said, and you have to make that decision, and that's your choice. But it's honestly, it's your life. I mean, everybody has the ability to make their own choices and do what they can with what they have.
Yeah.
So,
but that's
tough.
what Tim Grover was saying a lot about, like, the cleaners is, like, to be great at something, the amount of time, like, to really be truly great, or no, to actually be what was he saying? Basically like a person that never forgotten in that area. To be that type of person, he's like, you will have to sacrifice so much because your time and energy is only going to be in that. And it's like, that's true. I mean, when you feel that, you know, I mean, we've felt that, let's just say in football, you feel other things get sacrificed when you're trying to be really good at a sport, or you feel you, and we know that. Now he's saying to be the top, to always be the best, like Michael Jordan, let's just say Michael Jordan will always be someone that everyone will always look at and say that he's the best or one of the best basketball players ever. For him to get to that point, he had to sacrifice everything at some point, not his whole life. So you can get away with not sacrificing your whole life, but at some point, to be so great, all your energy and time is into that thing.
Yeah.
And that's what's hard, and that's what some people don't understand, but some people aren't willing to do that. And that's what separates these very high class people, or I mean not high class, but like these top of the world people.
Here's a question for both of y'all. Like, do you think anybody has the capability of achieving anything? So do you believe anybody that pursues to make it to the NFL can do it, no matter?
We talked about that.
So,
no.
Right?
I think it depends on the situation.
So no matter how hard they work, they'll never make it, right?
I don't know. That's a hard question because there's so many other logistical pieces that go into making
exactly.
It, like, the
well,
league.
that's why
if you're not physically, that's what I'm saying. Like you said, if
you
you had a five, if you're 5'2", if you're 5'2"
white guy,
and you put all your time and work into something,
though. Like it's a hard,
because there's so many other factors now.
If you're
people,
a 5'2" white guy that runs a 5'2" 40, like, you're not making it to the league.
I know, but
if you're Brandon Stokely or you're Jerry Jeudy who runs a freaking 4'2" and is 6'4", or if you're, I'm trying to think of other receivers.
Okay, but you have all these celebrities.
Wes Welker.
I tell you,
Wes
Tiny.
Welker, tiny motherfucker.
What if you're this 5'2" Malika in high school, and you're watching all these Instagram story or pages of these celebrities? You could achieve anything that you want. Blah blah blah. At that age, you would think you could do it, right?
I think everybody can achieve something to a certain extent in certain areas. I think other areas it's a bit harder to do.
Yeah.
So you're talking about. Well,
even mentally, bro. Like, there's not many
mentally, you
people.
can do whatever you want.
I think
the people. A lot of people have that.
I think physically, you can only max yourself out to certain components, right? Like in the bodybuilding world, right? If you have a 6'4" guy compared to a 5'8" guy, right? You can only maximize a 5'8" guy can only maximize his body compared to his bone length, his femur's length, whatever. Science. Compared to a 6'4", it's science. Yeah, it's science. It's natural science. So physically, you can only maximize your body physically. Now, okay, Christian said mentally you can maximize your body.
Back up. No, because the whole size strength thing, then you start looking at strength to weight ratios.
No,
and
I know, but I'm saying like physically, if a guy was like, I wanted to be able to, whatever, you were 5'8" and you're 170 pounds, and you're like, I want to be able to deadlift 1,000 pounds at that weight.
He's more advantageous. That person's more advantageously able, because of lever length, to deadlift 1,000 pounds over a 6'4" motherfucker.
Yeah, but at that weight, basically, it hasn't humanly been possible to do that. Who are the ones who deadlift 1,000 pounds? You got fucking the Mountain,
okay,
and he's 6'8". Or
No, he's
six,
like 6'12".
Yeah,
dude. He's like 7 feet
6'12",
tall.
7 feet.
Shut the fuck up.
7 feet. But all I'm saying is I think your body has physical components that you can't get past. Christian said that mentally he thinks that anyone can do it. You don't think that mentally people can do it. I think.
I know a lot of people that have mental problems.
Yeah.
Although they don't have the capability of.
Yeah, but where's that come from though? It depends.
Everybody's gifted in different ways, man. Like people process information differently. Like,
so this makes me think. So when I was in one of my psychology classes, we learned about one of the psychologists. I forgot who it was, but he had a son, and they did a study on this. He took his kid from when he was born and said this kid's going to be a doctor. He did everything to make his kid a doctor.
He didn't become a doctor.
And he didn't become a doctor.
Let's go.
And what he did from school, like from everything, he was teaching him to be a doctor. Everything he was teaching him to be a doctor. He took him through like, this is what you're learning. This is what you're doing. You're going to become a doctor. This is boom, boom, boom. Autonomy came in, right? And what is autonomy, Christian?
Sorry, I'm looking up deadlift stuff.
What is autonomy? Do you know?
Autonomy is being able to do things.
Free will, basically.
Sorry.
Free will came in, basically, that you're able to do. He found at a certain age, you find out that you can make your own choices. So eventually what happened was that he made his own choices and things came up and he was able to take his perspective, even though he was taught all this stuff, that at some point an event happened that he knew he was able to make a choice of his own. And when that happens, when you're able to make that choice, it changes everything. So I think at the end of the day, it does come down to perspective. But at the end of the day, we also learn a lot from psychology in the world today that parents have a lot of influence on that too.
They do.
That they have a lot of influence to change your perspective. Also, experiences have that. People go through different experiences. That's why it's so hard to say. But no, I think people aren't capable of it because people aren't given equal opportunity because people grow up differently.
Yeah. But
people are given opportunity, but not equally.
Yeah, but I guess my point is
that's what's tough.
How many people?
We don't grow up the same.
But I guess my point is, how many people are like Kobe Bryant? How many people had the same attitude as him, but he's the one that made it out?
Hey, can we go back for a second?
Yeah.
So Chris Duffin is 5'9". He's deadlifted 1,000 pounds for reps.
What the?
How much weight?
For reps, you said?
Yeah.
For reps.
Hold on, I gotta find.
How much weight though?
How much does he weigh?
Yeah, how much does he weigh?
Hold on.
He's gotta be like a boulder.
82 kilograms. So
that's like wow.
164.
No way.
Deadlifted
1,000 pounds.
82 kilograms.
82 is 2.2. So
2.4.
That's like my friend's.
No, it's 2.24.
Yeah.
183.
So 183.
5'9", 183. He deadlifted 1,000 pounds for reps.
Show the video.
I'm pulling it up. Hold on.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, clearly he's maximizing.
Oh, it's a squat. Sorry, he squatted 1,000 pounds for 3 reps.
Okay.
Still.
Yeah, but that's still high.
Pause the video.
That's crazy.
Oh, and it's on an axle bar too. So he's on an axle bar, making it harder.
Nope, didn't count. He can go 90.
No, that's fucking 100% 90.
I'm just joking.
He hit this for 3.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt the conversation. I was just digging, trying to find the smallest person to ever do 1,000 pounds.
That's crazy.
So yeah, so he's one of the
only 10 people have deadlifted 1,000 pounds.
Or squatted, right?
He squatted, but only 10 people deadlifted 1,000 pounds.
Deadlift's worse though. Like trying to deadlift,
bro.
Right? You could throw.
I don't know. I feel like trying to throw 1,000 pounds in your back is a lot more than trying to pull 1,000 pounds. Like
what do you mean worse in what way?
Like
to hurt yourself?
Yeah, hurt yourself.
I think deadlift. More people hurt themselves.
Because they're idiots. You have more sheer force going through a deadlift, but on a squat you have just straight compressive force.
Yeah, you have compression. So you either blow out a disc on squat or you fucking tear your spine in half on
choose your poison
on deadlift. No, but that's why we just buy
he deadlifted 1,000 2x2.
That's wild. See, but that's a guy who took his what he had physically and
just
took
did
it to
that squat
his
in
maximal
March.
level.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is, typically what you'll find if a 6'4" guy took himself to maximal level, he'll beat him out.
Height to strength,
Is what I'm
size
saying.
to strength ratios, though.
Yeah, I know.
He's stronger.
I know, but
If
I'm
my
just,
ass went and pulled,
I know,
or
but if
squatted,
the guy was like, I want to be
know.
able to get 1500, and this 6'4" guy's getting 1500, it is the
No, I
strength
agree.
ratio is different.
My body size. So if I were to go deadlift or squat like he did, 1,000 pounds for 3 reps. I'm 247,
Yeah.
6'4".
He's technically stronger than you. Yes.
5'9", 180. He's stronger than me.
Yeah, because of the body weight to
Strength to
yeah.
weight.
Damn,
ratio.
that's like twice my max squat. God
Yeah.
damn. That's
But-
crazy.
Dude, 450 pounds felt heavy thanks to COVID. So, fuckers.
I can't even put out that weight anymore.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad.
I haven't stopped. I can't stop. Can't stop. Won't stop. Gotta get to 600 again.
John, you were at like 550 at 180.
Yeah. I
That's pretty good.
yeah.
I think I hit 615 at 230.
The good old days when
Right?
I lifted heavy all the time, but now I don't do
Yeah.
that anymore. I just run.
Yeah. But I mean, going back to what you were saying with Kobe is, how many people have that mindset? Not much. I don't think a lot of people have this
I think a
mindset.
lot of people do, but they just don't have. They
No,
just
yeah,
don't
they're
stand
not
out.
Kobe.
Yeah, they just not six. What? How tall is he? Like 6 something.
Probably like 6'7", 6'8".
Yeah, the jumper is super athletic, but
No,
Probably
Kobe's
a-
like 6.
probably a lot of people have the
6'5".
same. Not
But-
a lot, but like there's a good amount of people that have the same attitude he does. And probably even David Goggins. There's probably a good amount of people that have the same attitude he does in different fields, obviously. But
Yeah, but you're saying they don't stand out. But that's the thing about social
or
media, though.
they don't stand out, or they just don't have the. Oh yeah, they
They're
don't
just
have the
not getting-
Kobe didn't have social media till 2000.
No, what I'm
They
saying
don't
is-
have the talents to stand out. Is what I'm trying to say. But they do have the work ethic. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if I was
Yeah,
like
you might have the
4'9", trying to
mindset.
play basketball but working my ass off,
It also applies to different things too. Like you could have
But
That's
what
what
do
I'm
you,
saying. There's
but
different
that's what
things.
we're
Steve
talking
Jobs
about.
and Apple. Like
But what's your definition of success? That's what people are
Well, that's
struggling
the
with.
thing, right?
Is your
What's
definition
your
success becoming a celebrity, or is your definition success of making yours
well, that's,
maximizing your human potential?
well, that's
Different.
that's-
There could be a ton of people out there that aren't. Yeah, there's a ton of people out there that aren't celebrities that are freaking doing amazing things. You know what I'm saying? That
not
are
even amazing things though. There's a lot of people out there freaking dragging their asses off.
Yeah,
and
that are just
failing
working their
at
ass off.
40.
that are happy with what they've done for their life.
I mean,
I don't think success is always based on. Yeah, it's not based on money. It's not based on the amount of people recognition. But the tough thing is this, because when you're really good at something and you're very passionate about it, eventually people are recognize that, and eventually, in some point, you're going to become some type of leader in some type of way. I think that's just naturally happens, whether you want it to happen or not.
yeah.
Unless you really
just-
keep yourself closed up. But if you're in that mindset of keeping pushing yourself, eventually people are going to keep recognizing,
Well, it's
and
just
you
setting
will
that
become a
example.
type of you
Yeah.
will be some type of celebrity in some type of way, whatever it is. But I mean, you can take anything, like just being a great, person at your job could be a world of difference to you, and say that, hey, I'm doing everything I can to provide for myself and my family. I don't know. It just depends. It's just weird how you go about it. But the tough thing with sports, especially like going off that, it's just there's so many outside factors to how the coaches look at you, on what. It's just finding the right person to, accept. I don't know, I guess.
Yeah, but I guess my point is like, we needed the ability to say, okay, this is not for me, right? And then choose a different path,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I guess like there's always that social media trap. You listen to all these celebrities, don't give up, right? In a sense of like,
In what way?
like
It's hard.
I feel like there comes a point.
There's a lot of
you need to give up
motivation
and
out there
find a
that's
different
very
path
hard.
to get to your end goal.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say is that people.
Like if you're,
I got trapped in that situation where
Yeah.
I was trying to.
You thought
I
work hard for this,
Yeah,
and this is
like I
what's
kept
going
trying to
on.
pursue football, and then once I had the opportunity to play again, I finally like figured out. I was like, you
This
know,
isn't
like
you.
I'm not gonna waste my I decided my time wasn't worth trying to pursue this anymore, and I lost the love for the game. But yet again, like you just got to figure out when to let go, and that's a big part of life is like work your ass off, obviously, if you're trying to pursue certain things, but you got to realize because people hold on to dreams.
What's your calling? I think
There's-
people don't know what their calling
well,
is.
there's so many people. Think about
That's
it,
what's
especially
tough.
athletes. There's so
It's
many
tough.
people that get stuck in living in the past or trying to pursue a dream that's like ultimately it's not going to happen, right?
Mhm.
So and that's I think a great calling to have is being able to say, okay, this is not for me. Change paths, and no matter how many times you got to do that. I mean, obviously you can't do it too much where you're just like being just ignorant, just saying, okay, this is too hard. That's different. But I'm saying there comes to the point where where you got to make that decision. All right, is this worth still pursuing? Because life doesn't always work out the way you want it to, obviously. And no matter how hard you work, sometimes things don't work out the way you want it to.
Oh yeah.
And you just gotta.
Yeah. You gotta find a different path down there.
But that's the hardest thing, right? Seeing
That's
that
the
different
hardest
path because you've been doing something for so long. You're like
but I
damn.
think that's the hardest thing because people get blinded by passion compared to what you're actually called to do.
Yeah.
Is what's tough.
That is tough.
Because
Especially at this
passion can override. It can blind you and say, "Well, I'm passionate towards this," but is that really like what you feel that you need to do on this earth? And
But-
sometimes, but it's crazy.
It's so hard to like figure that out.
It's hard. It is hard.
It's like, is
It's
this
hard.
my passion or is this my purpose? That's like the hardest
Well,
question
I'll tell you
to
this.
answer.
I think what I found out, I know in my calling, I know is to help people, is to like help people with their lives. Now, I have multiple passions to do that because you can do that because I'm passionate towards music and music can help people. Songs save a lot of people. A lot of people, we all know that music has interacted with us before. Okay. Passionate towards training. That helps people. I'm passionate towards being, a psychologist. That helps people. So it's like, that's what I'm talking about. You get what I'm saying? So I know my calling is to help people, but I don't know in which way yet. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes complete sense.
So that's what's kind of crazy. And some people might be their calling is like to make people laugh. And they might love to be a comedian, but they also, maybe it's a different entertainment. Maybe it's a this or that. So it's kind of weird. So I think you need to get more of a broad of what your calling is. And then you have to figure out what you actually do that makes your calling, which is weird. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's different. It's crazy. So you could say something like, I don't know, like the Jeff Bezos or whatever, the Amazon dude could be like, my calling was to make people's lives easier in something, and then what he did was Amazon. So it's crazy to like, it depends on, you got to figure out a broader of what your calling is, and then you got to figure out what you actually do for that calling.
I know Jeff Bezos' mindset at the time was to make money, obviously.
Oh,
'Cause he
yeah.
was
I
selling
mean, clearly.
books.
Clearly.
Amazon was a online bookstore first, but
Yeah. But then he might have figured out that he loved
the money.
doing the money.
The
But
money.
I mean, yeah, but then at the end of the day, like,
His calling was to find money. So,
I mean, like that's
but at some
It's like-
point,
it's not
I'm sure he looks and he's like, the way that I affected people was some part of him. You know what I'm saying?
I think with
To
Amazon,
start with, but start
But
with
no-
something. You have to be passionate to
about-
make either
he
you're
wanted to get-
passionate
he
about
wa- like,
money.
my guess would be he wanted to get books to people easier. Now it turned into what Amazon is today,
Yeah.
and now they're even making it more. It's like you have drone delivery, you have
Yeah.
random ride. Like they've developed basically the Uber of Amazon. Like you could literally go start your own Amazon delivery company tomorrow, like with truck share now.
Yeah.
You could literally go. They're buying their own 747s or whatever and flying them around in prime air, and they're like have their own shipping company.
Yeah.
Like they're basically like Jeff Bezos went from books to now like literally making lives simpler, buying Whole Foods, and now you can literally have food delivered to your house. I mean, not that you couldn't do that before, but like Amazon food delivery, like whatever it may be.
But you just said right there, what do you start with? You said books?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was selling. Yeah.
He was selling books.
Yeah.
So he must have loved books. So that's what I'm saying. He must.
No.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
like-
he's probably just trying to. There's a lot of entrepreneurs out
It's
there.
like Ben
just
and Jerry liked ice cream, so
no, but at some point you got to understand.
No. I think he
You-
had the
you
attitude
will
of an
not-
entrepreneur where he just loved the idea of making.
Yeah, but
maybe-
where does the
maybe-
idea?
some people
the
like
idea
to
has
just
to
be
come
start
from some
businesses
type of
and
passion.
develop things because they enjoy it themselves. So he probably
But he-
enjoyed books and he enjoyed designing a website and called it Amazon because he liked the jungle. I don't know.
No, but that's what I'm saying. He had to enjoy something piece of that to make it
And you know
actually
what?
sustainable.
I bet you it became from that one book where the wild things are. Because they go down
No.
there and they find the jungle and there's the wild things. Amazon. Boom.
No, I bet.
Oh
What
my
I'm saying
God.
is people don't make it like him because they don't find something sustainable. You can be an
They also
entrepreneur,
don't have the
but this is
mentality
what
to do
happens
that.
as an entrepreneur right here. You'll say, I want to make a whole bunch of stuff. I want to make a whole bunch of money. You fail at it 3 years later down the road because you're actually not passionate about what you're making. That's the issue. What happens is these people who actually become famous and make a shit ton of money is they want to be an entrepreneur. So they're like, I'm going to make a whole shit ton of money, but I need to find something that I actually care about that I'm going to consistently work on for all the years and then make a whole bunch of money. You will never make a whole bunch of money if you don't truly love of what you're trying to do.
In a sense, that's kind of true, but in
In a lot of ways, I feel like a lot of
okay,
times that happens.
Okay, think about this. During his time with the internet, it was up and coming. It wasn't even.
Yeah.
So, timing was number one in his situation, where he was the first one in the internet. Well, not the first one, but one of the first companies to
Mhm.
be launched on the internet when the internet wasn't even famous yet. So
Yeah.
that's a huge.
.com era.
Yeah, and that's a huge reason why he is where he is now. If you launch it Amazon right now, not even close to being successful,
it's about time.
or to where he is at now. And timing is a huge thing in everything in life. Timing is huge.
Yeah.
And I don't know if timing's luck or you.
Well,
Because there's people out there, like I've heard a lot of people say, you make your own luck. In a sense of, is that it's more like taking advantage of the opportunities that are given to you, but some people where they're at now, in the definition of, I think they had I don't want to say like luck, but what's another word for luck?
determination.
Not necessarily, but they had the opportunity
Drive.
presented to them.
Well, their opportunity. They
Well,
made
like-
the most of the opportunity
yeah,
bestowed.
but
in
not
front of
everybody
them.
gets that opportunity, right?
Yeah.
So like Jeff Bezos had the opportunity to launch at that time.
Yeah.
Perfect timing in the internet or
But-
the World Wide Web upcoming.
Yeah. But he must. But what I'm saying is his intention. He must have saw something to make it easy. An entrepreneur. I don't know who said this, but I was watching something, and he was a big billionaire guy, and he was like, when you become an entrepreneur, all entrepreneur is that someone is sick of something because it's not functioning right or it's too hard. All they're trying to do is make it easier. That's basically what like
Me with elite
entrepreneurship is.
speed.
But you're
I
trying
gotta watch
to
this.
make something up. You either get sick of something and you're like, hey, I want to make this because this is going to make this easier, or hey, I want to make this because this is going to make more sense.
Yeah.
You get what I'm
But
saying?
I think there's entrepreneurs in all spectrums where there's people like that, and then there's people that freaking Kim Kardashian launches a freaking. I mean, she gets famous and then
No,
launches.
they got famous from OJ.
Well, I mean, yeah, but like you have people, entrepreneurs, that
Well, I don't
do
know.
something that's not necessarily like
Keeping up with the Kardashians.
It's not necessarily their passion, but they got lucky in the sense of
Their passion.
Well, they got the limelight, but what does
Ray J.
Kim Kardashian do? Does she sell makeup?
She gets banged by
she
Ray
does
J.
everything, bro. She's not a lawyer. She's a lawyer now.
No, she's not.
Yes, she
she followed
is.
her dad's footsteps.
Yeah, she's a lawyer. She's actually been doing great things, I've heard, according to Joe Rogan. But like she's been
Joe
helping.
Rogan.
So you get Kardashian.
But what I'm
Gets
trying to
OJ off.
what I'm trying to say,
Then
there's
Ray J
entrepreneurs and all.
bangs Kardashian, And now Kardashian's lawyer.
Nice. And then files lawsuit.
But that's how she got famous, right?
As a
Getting
whole.
banged by Ray J?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's literally how she got famous.
Well, the family got
whole
famous
the
by
family
O.J.
was
Simpson because her dad represented him and got him off of chopping his wife's head off.
But
she
was the one that like escalated it, right?
Yeah, because she got banged by Ray J and went on Pornhub.
I mean,
and then Jenner. Wait, Kylie.
No, then Bruce Jenner.
Then Bruce Jenner was the Olympian, and then he ended up.
And now he's Caitlyn.
Now it's Caitlyn Jenner.
Anyways,
he was an Olympian.
We're not going to talk about
He was Olympian in the 80s, and now he's.
We're not going to play catching up with the Kardashians right now, right?
A girl Olympian.
And Kylie Jenner was dating Travis Scott.
Yeah.
And then broke up with Travis Scott, and now Travis Scott's all sad on Twitter, and she's dating some other dude.
Yeah.
I don't even think they're that hot. A lot of people do.
Did you just hear about the Will Smith and his wife?
Oh yeah, I don't know.
What happened?
Dude,
his wife.
Jada Pinkett Smith was banging somebody that was like their kid's age.
Yeah, August.
Will Smith's
yes,
wife?
he has pretty good songs.
Jada Pinkett Smith.
Yeah.
Was banging like a 23-year-old.
His name's August. You probably heard of his songs.
Wait, I know.
He's probably
is that
friends
his
with
wife
Jaden
or
Smith.
his
wife?
His wife.
Well, they were separated for.
I like Will Smith too.
But right away, like she, like pretty quick, like started hugging with him or something.
Yeah.
Like I guess he came in. I guess he came into the family as a friend that was like having a hard time or something.
He's a friend of like one of the kids. I'm pretty sure.
And then Will Smith and his wife got in a fight, separated, and she said that she ended up helping him, but then they got into entanglement. That's what she called it.
They're banging.
Relationship.
Dude,
and you can see in the interview that
this
Will
dude
Smith
looked like his dog died in I Am Legend all over again.
Yeah, like you can see his face.
I bet Will Smith's definitely one of those guys that
he's a good dude.
He's not just a good actor; he's like a good character.
How are you about to fuck over the Men in Black? I mean, come on, fucking Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Bro, it's
great show.
Anyway,
but yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like the opportunity is always different, and I guess your intentions are always different, but. It's tough to say because that situation with the Kardashians, like they have a limelight from their parents, from other stuff that's going on, but then some people make their limelight too. Like, I mean, Donald Trump. You can take Donald Trump and say he was given $1 million. A lot of people don't have the opportunity, but he made it $1 billion. I mean,
you know how easy it is to make $1 billion?
Like 100 times.
No, not easy, John. You know how many people would get rid of $1 million?
If you're somewhat highly intelligent, you can make $1 billion.
Yeah, you have to be highly intelligent.
No, I mean
what I'm saying
intelligent.
Is a lot of people.
Bro,
how many people make millions of dollars and go bankrupt?
A lot.
Because they're
everywhere.
They're 90% of those guys are NFL guys that like buying stupid cars
because they're
and houses
and immature and they never had money like that.
He was young.
Donald
Trump was.
If I had $1 million
Donald Trump had
a
father. I don't know. I actually don't know. This is my guess. Had a father that probably guided him.
100%.
Yeah.
But you can't say a man to make $1 million to $1 billion is
a father that's already a freaking.
Dude, he probably got more than $1 million loan. It was like,
here's it was $1 million.
Let me
Plus,
give you another $1 million.
If you watched your dad and had the lessons for him, it would be super easy.
I think you need to. We'll see what he did with it.
Parenting
it's not easy.
But
he
was also
big.
friends with Jeffrey Epstein. So I mean, who knows? Where
it is big, but 95% of those people would not made $1 billion off $1 million.
So you don't believe?
Trust me, $1 billion off $1 million.
So you don't believe richer people?
No, all I'm saying is he was given a good hand, but
the richer get richer.
We're going millionaire guys here. Like Richard Branson, like this dude started like airplanes.
He was given a good hand, but he made his hand. Yeah, but he made his hand great. Not many people would do that. Trust me. There's definitely not a lot of people.
Okay, I know what you're saying, but
there's people who make
self-made.
It would say
is Elon Musk a billionaire yet?
See, I would put Elon Musk way above. Because Elon Musk came not from
this
a middle
dude created
class family.
He created PayPal and sold it for $100 million, and then reinvested it.
How did Donald Trump make his money?
That's what I'm saying.
Real estate.
Okay.
Elon Musk fucking created PayPal from nothing in his basement, and then became $1 million millionaire.
Maybe not $1 billion. You could make a lot more than $1 million just investing in real estate.
Elon Musk, PayPal. He wanted a better way to make payments.
People will make $200,000 and won't hit $500 million. You get what I'm saying?
Because they don't know how to reinvest.
That's the difference. Is like,
well, 200,000.
Okay, you make 80 grand. Okay, what's $1 million? So 100 times. So what's
okay,
80 times 100,000?
Let me put this in perspective.
I mean,
really
80
quick.
times 100.
Okay, if you put 80,000 into the stock market and it goes up 5%, how much do you make?
Whatever.
Now, yeah, if you put $1 million into a stock market and it goes up 5%, how much do you
a
make?
lot of fucking money.
Exactly. So
yeah, but he didn't use the stock market.
No, I'm just saying in general. That's life
Yeah,
in general. The richer
okay.
you are, the
Theoretically,
more,
he
Yeah,
invested.
the richer you are, the more you can
he
get. All I'm
invested
saying
in real
is-
estate, meaning he invested. Okay, say he invested that $1 million into a real estate that paid back out at $2 million a year. He then and now over the course of however much time, he now that reinvested that $2 million into another property for $1 million each.
Okay.
Then he's getting $2 million
you act
each.
like you
So
guys
now he's
act
making-
like you guys
he's
act
making
like
$6 million a
I'm
year.
not-
you guys
I'm
act
not
like that. There's no
I'm-
risk in
No, there's
doing
a lot
real
of
estate
risk.
at all, or there's no risk in
I'm
everything.
what I'm
With $1
saying
million
is,
though?
there's risk in everything, but I'm saying that he.
We'll have to look up the story and let's see what he actually did with it. But
Wayfair.
all I'm saying is the 100
How did we come up to this?
to times your money by 100%
Shane.
is 50 billion times harder than what everyone thinks. Is what I was just bringing up is he was given a good hand, but people who make the most of their hand is what's super important about that.
Yeah.
Is yes, not everyone's
So
getting $1 million.
Donald Trump's
standing
dad,
over.
just for reference, made all his money in real estate. So when Donald Trump went and invested all his money in real estate, he literally
Clearly
probably
he
bought
helped.
all of his dad's properties and had a
Like-
ton of help. So for him to go turn $1 million into $5 million, pretty fucking easy.
Okay, I'm not gonna
Case
downplay.
closed.
I'm not
It's
gonna
not
downplay. Okay, I'm not gonna.
You guys can't say it's easy.
Okay, I'm not.
You
gonna
can say your
it's-
dad's an NBA star. Does that mean you're going to be a fucking
That's
NBA
totally
star?
different, bro.
No,
That's
it's
totally
not.
different. It depends on your genetics and all that stuff. That's
He could have
Oh,
married
okay,
an unathletic
so-
wife.
Oh my gosh.
Recessive
You know how many
traits, bro.
famous people and their kids are not just because you are
Okay,
intellectually
The McCaffrey
okay. Think about
family.
this. Okay, if Kobe or not Kobe, if LeBron, pretty much, I don't know if his son has the same genetics.
Oh, his son's a
LeBron
freak
literally
athlete.
passed the same genetic skills and everything to his kids.
Yeah,
He'll
that doesn't
100%
happen.
make it to a league,
That doesn't
probably.
happen.
Dude,
No, I'm
LeBron's
just saying,
kids
that's
going
what-
to the league.
Well, you guys are saying
Trump's
Donald
father-
Trump was
Okay.
exactly
Look at
his
the
father.
McCaffrey
No, I'm saying
family.
he was-
Look at the McCaffrey family. Freakish,
Yeah.
freakish
They all
genes. Christian
freaking-
Max
yeah.
McCaffrey, wide receiver in the NFL. Christian
But
No,
that's totally
greatest
Max
running back.
McCaffrey's bad. Christian
We're
McCaffrey.
talking-
Max
amazing.
McCaffrey was a receiver in the NFL. Then he didn't make it.
He didn't.
Like,
That's totally
big.
different, though.
It doesn't
We're-
matter. I'm just
we're
saying.
talking about, like-
The dude was in the NFL. How hard is it to make the NFL? 0.01% of guys make
Yeah.
it in the NFL. All a dad, a mom that was a freak athlete, 2 kids that have played in the NFL, and 2 more on the way. What
Yeah,
are the
so you're
fucking odds?
getting physical genes, but a lot of people don't. You have so much shit that goes through your elementary, high school, college lives that
Valor.
any path can happen.
Valor.
And just because, like I said, yeah, parenting's super important. But like I just said with that instance of this guy who tried to make this guy a doctor, his son a doctor,
Yeah.
the psychologist,
I think-
he didn't go down that path at all. It's all,
I think we're
You
just
can't
thinking in
say
a different
that-
perspective according to our life. So like,
all I'm saying is
I
like,
think he had a lot. He has his life a lot easier than than we do, because we are never gonna be given $100 million, or was it $1 million?
$1 million.
$1 million.
Yeah.
We'll be never given that. But in our perspective, looking up to Donald Trump and saying he had the hard life. That's not
No,
your point.
I don't think
though.
he has the
No,
hard
that's
life.
not your point.
No, he
but I'm
never
saying
had
I'm
a
not
hard
going to
life,
look up
dude.
to
My-
him and say I'm going to follow this dude and
This dude
try
was
to
born a millionaire. I mean,
No.
yeah. So
My
but
point was,
Elon Musk is somebody I would be like, all right, this guy's inspirational because
Oh,
he came from
100%.
I think
Yeah.
he came from a lower
SpaceX.
no,
well he came from a lower end family like in South Africa.
yeah.
So
But
and he came
I
from, he
res-
was an immigrant.
what I
Yeah.
was, I would still respect what Donald Trump did with the $1 million.
Yeah, because he could have.
Is that's what I'm saying? Is you could have done a lot of different things with
But
that, but you
still.
ended up becoming a billionaire.
Yeah.
$1 billion is a lot more.
And a
I don't think. The thing is,
I
we've
know what you're
never.
saying, but
First of
still, I
all,
wouldn't-
we've never seen $1 billion in our eyes. First of all, we've never seen $1 million in our eyes.
I haven't
I don't
either.
think people understand how much $1 billion is.
It's a shit ton.
It's a shit ton of money.
But it's a lot easier to get from 1 million. What in my perspective?
What we just looked up that $50 million house the other day. That's $50 million.
Yeah.
$1 billion is 999
Well-
million. Whatever.
Well,
plus
first
the
of all,
number.
how true?
Yeah.
How true? Is
All I'm
it-
saying is
how
that-
true is it if he actually got $1 million from somewhere? Maybe I bet he got $1 million plus some real estate plus a bunch of
Yeah.
that added up.
Yeah, he got all
Future
this
real
He
estate
probably got $1
property
million
plus $1 million.
deposit into his checking account, and it probably just said that so he doesn't look as bad.
But here's the thing. But that's where I think. But that's where I think society's broken right there. Because here's the thing. I want to know what his dad came from. I want to know what that dad's dad came from.
But that's his dad. Though.
Yeah, but listen. But everyone gets mad that like, oh well, he was given $1 million, and people are all like, oh well, I wouldn't get $1 million, stuff like that. The thing is, his dad set him up for that. What does dad do? But that's the respect that you guys got to have about the. But
I respect the family, but I'm saying.
But then he made it the most of his hand.
That's not my point though. The point is that I'm not downgrading his hard work or anything. Like I'm not saying, but I'm saying he's not the person. Me personally, probably us would look up to because we weren't born in that perspective of life, in a situation of life.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying he didn't work hard or anything, or he didn't play his money right, or you know what I'm saying, like I'm just saying majority of America. But then
you could have your kid. Let's say you came. Okay.
John,
let's say your circumstance.
Really quick, do you want to know?
Let's say you go and make you become a millionaire.
Yeah.
John, okay. And your kid doesn't look up to you or your grandkids don't look up to your son because you made him $1 million because you helped him out, but you came from not as a high class or not as a high like opportunity. Do you understand what I'm saying? So the issue, what I'm saying in society right now, and this is why I'm saying this, because I'm a generation ahead of where my dad came from jack shit and my dad is now successful. Now I come from a dad who was successful. So now I'm sitting here like people are like, oh, well, you're giving a pretty good hand. Look at what your dad done. Yeah. Now they go and judge my dad and say they don't know what he's done to get his opportunity here. And people will say, oh, well, maybe your dad was given this. Or people might judge about that. You know what I'm saying? They don't know the truth of it when he actually came from jack shit. Now, okay, I'm sitting here where they gave me a good opportunity. What do I do to make the most of this opportunity? Now you're gonna get judged, like we talked about the other night. You're gonna get judged on no matter what happens. Oh, you didn't end up doing this much, and you were given a great childhood. Or, oh, you did a lot, but you were given a great childhood. It's a catch-22. Whatever you do. So the point is, what I'm saying is, no matter you come from a poor, rich, or in the middle family, is what's important. What I was saying with Donald Trump is that you make the most of your opportunity in the hand that you are given.
I agree.
And then you live your life potential of it.
It's all about perspective, right?
That's all I'm saying.
Okay, first of all, society is messed up right now because, first of all, we're watching other people's lives, right? Like I don't care if Donald Trump makes $1 million with what he or got up to $1 billion. I think a lot of people. I honestly don't care. But if you're going to talk about judging, in the sense of like, let's say if society actually cares, which I bet majority of people do, are always on their phone and stuff. But like in your sense, it's easier for you to make money than for me to make money, according to where we lived, right? How we grew up. You have a lot better. Have you seen that football video? That coach was like, all right, if you have a father, step forward.
Yeah.
And they all sprinted, right?
That's what we're saying about opportunity.
But I'm not going to judge the guy way ahead of me that has a father that has born in a house like a established house.
But that's what's going on right now.
I'm not
so
going to
that's
judge.
the white privilege.
I'm just going to put my head down and run. That's what I'm going to do.
I would tell you right now, Trump was given everything that was given to him. So.
Yeah,
going back to that, like if we're gonna talk on that sense, like
we're not talking about that.
No, I'm saying
what we're talking about right now.
A lot of people. You asked a question.
Now you're just stirring. Now you're just stirring the pot.
I would like to stir the pot.
What I'm talking about
right now. That's my job on the podcast is stir pots.
No, what John was talking about, like that, is that's what the world is talking about right now. A lot of the black community is talking about white privilege, and they talk about that opportunity that is given. But here's the thing.
It's not really. I know what you're saying,
but that's what the people are calling it. It's like the privilege. You're privileged.
But whose fault is that? Who puts them in this situation?
It's culture.
It's your parents.
It's culture.
Yeah, it's your culture. We talked about this, but
that's what I was saying. Culture determines.
I'm saying these. Okay, I don't want to talk about politics on this podcast and stuff, but I'm saying these people. Okay, you think about Asian people. I came from a very poor immigrant family that literally doesn't make that much money. And it's been help from the government. Thank you for America, been help by giving us financial aid and stuff. But in a sense of, it's all about culture, like we said before. It's about the generation before and what they did for their kids, right?
Yeah.
So you see a lot of these families that are in poverty, and it goes from generation to generation, and it's just because that generation that goes to the next aren't teaching the next
it's
generation.
a vicious cycle. Yeah.
So there's culture established, especially like in the Asian community. A lot of Asians came to America broke, right? And majority of them are freaking successful, and that's just culture because we work our asses off.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're kind of smart, but that yet again, that's working your ass off. I mean, you see a bunch of Asian students like they're super introverted and then always studying all that stuff, but that's culture, right? But like what you said before, I mean, like privilege is just like a term that's saying. I mean, it's like I don't think privilege is real in the sense of yes, people are put in better situations, but it's just because of the generation before them, right? And it goes all the way back into forever, right? So this is where a lot of people are complaining is that other people have it better than others, but whose kind of fault is that, right?
Well, there's a ton of different factors that can go into it, but I mean, a lot of it is like parents' generation too.
Yeah.
But that's the hard thing, and I think that's where the world is in shambles right now. Is like everyone wants to be equal. That's like the argument right now, and it's like it's a tough. There's an argument that like,
I think
make everyone the same on the same level, but there will never. It's impossible.
Everybody
there will
needs
always
to be
different classes.
as equals, in my opinion. But everybody has to work for what they fucking get. If you're sitting back like relaxing, like getting financial aid, like, and you're not willing to work to get more than whatever you want, like, you're just being a lazy asshole. And like,
you can't. Yeah.
Like,
you can't say I need to be.
You could be white, black, purple, green, yellow, but if you're gonna sit there and be lazy, it's fucking wrong. If you're not gonna be willing to go work for it, then fucking stop complaining.
Yeah, I mean, you can't say I deserve this, and when this guy's busting his ass off, and you're not doing shit. Like that's just.
You've seen examples from every race come out of poverty, right?
Look at Will Smith and not. I'm just thinking Will Smith.
Well,
but
people are
Pursuit of
about
Happiness.
Actors, but you think about like business owners. You see a lot of business owners of different races, right? I mean,
I was saying Will Smith in Pursuit of Happiness. I don't know the actual dude's name.
Oh yeah,
like that. But that whole story.
Like, you're right. You're right.
Right, like, dude literally went out and bought a bunch of medical device shit, couldn't sell it, and then now he's a fucking millionaire because of the stock market, and he learned the shit because he was obsessed and worked his ass off and was making no money.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like for America in general, I think we have it better than a lot of other countries because we have the opportunity, even though it's tough.
Oh yeah,
and it's tougher in some neighborhoods.
Well, we just have so many resources.
Yeah, I mean, it's tougher in some neighborhoods, but you could still get out. Like, no matter how tough it can be, you could still get out. And you hear tough stories. It's a
mentality.
Yeah.
But a lot of people get stuck in the culture they're in or their city they're in, and they don't leave.
But that's the problem, though, is people get to the point where they start comparing their lives to other, right? Like somebody super poor looks on Instagram and sees this rich person that's enjoying life and then gets, and they're like, oh, this is way too hard. Like this guy gets jealous and then starts to complain rather than actually, putting their head down and grinding. But
you got to run your own race.
Yeah, some people have.
And that's what we were talking about the other day, like, and the booze cruise and the booze hot tub. We were talking about.
You guys should do a podcast in the hot tub.
That might be interesting.
That would actually be pretty sick.
Shane would probably drop the mic in the fucking pool, and you'd hear like
kill us.
Then you zapped. Hey, I do want to. Because I spent 5 minutes researching it. Trump's dad, so Trump's grandpa, came here from Germany, was a barber, but guess what he started doing?
Drugs.
Real estate.
Drugs.
Okay, guess what was passed down to the son?
Yeah,
real estate.
So that knowledge.
Passed down to the next son. Real estate.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But
Trump's grandpa was a physicist and like an engineer, like an electrical engineer. Okay. So there's some smart.
But you just said the grandfather, he was a barber and he started it.
Yeah, so
but that's what I'm saying. But that's what's going to happen.
Your work hard ass off. Everybody else from that point on was like, oh, here's some money. I'm going to put it here.
I mean,
they still work hard.
In a way.
As hard as
but some don't. No, but some don't. In a way, it depends. It depends on how.
It does depend. I
how
agree.
much money, first of all, and then what you do with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But
like
I guess our point is,
like I said,
it's just
Okay,
easier. That's
I'm
for
given
richer
this
people to-
opportunity in my life, but literally what I've been given, I haven't been given, like, my parents don't give me $100,000
Why are you lying? That's
and
how
I'm
you're
sitting
thinking.
here, you know what I'm saying? Like, I still don't have money. I have student loans like most people. I have, like, I've just been given a loving family and a nicer house but a family that cares about me, but it's not necessarily like, it's a difference on how you treat your kids and what you do with that money towards your kids. Because now what you could do is you teach someone the work ethic, is you can be a millionaire and you could not give your kids a dime and say, you got to work your fucking ass off and I'm not going to give you anything. That teaches them to not be spoiled. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you can be rich doesn't mean that you're going to be spoiled. It depends on the parents and how they treat you and what they teach you, what they give you values and morals. That's what's more important, I think. Now, clearly, Trump's dad gave him $1 million. All I'm saying is, I think what he did with the $1 million is, I still think, awesome that he got $1 billion, that he was able to do billions. Now, his dad could have made the choice and not give him shit and said, figure it out. Figure more of it out. But look what his dad gave him this, and now his son's the president. So it just depends on, like,
I think we're
just off on the line.
I don't know.
we're not really arguing about anything. I think we're
no, I'm just saying it's just kind of cool.
I
It's
think
just
our
kind of like, it's
perspective-
weird how, like,
I guess
you
you're
can
just saying.
influence. No, I'm just saying, like, it's cool how, like, you can influence people as parents, and you're just trying to help you're trying to help your son out. I mean, who wouldn't do that if you're a fucking millionaire? I mean, you're trying to help, but you're also, if you install good values and morals in this person and instill values and morals in this person and teach them still work ethic and teach them to be a good person, help them out. Like, who doesn't want to help their kids out? If everyone wants to help their kids out as much as they can, you know what I'm saying?
I think
that's what makes
the reason why we got
life better.
The reason why we got on this topic, though, is because we were judging Donald Trump, right? Based on
No, I brought up Donald Trump.
and then we started. How did this topic come up then? Because I think you were talking.
I brought it up about human potential, about, like, what you're given.
Okay, yeah. Then we brought up Donald
What
Trump.
hand you are given, and I brought up Donald Trump was given $1 million,
Yeah.
and he made it $1 billion.
Yeah, no, and
And
I'm
then
not-
it went into
I'm
a
not.
whole.
I'm not saying he
tornado.
didn't work at all to get to $1 billion. I think our perspective was just it's easier for him to do it than.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
That's pretty much. I mean, we kept going.
That's-
back and forth, but like
That's a very, like, out of the, like, that doesn't happen to 0.1% of people, less than 0.1%.
There's only
But I mean,
1% of people
yeah,
that with that much
0.1,
money.
yeah, 1.1% doesn't happen a lot. All I'm saying is, like, that's why what we were talking about, it's super important that these parents, whether your parents are wealthy or not, of just instilling, just putting in good, like, morals and values and teaching them the proper way to still live is important. Because
The real question is
what I like looking at. No, but I like looking at is, like,
We're gonna be here all night.
yeah. But, okay, let me ask you
no,
something.
what I was saying, what I like looking at, like, have you guys met, like, super rich people? I don't know if you've ever met a super rich
Yeah.
family and met their kids.
You.
What?
Just
Yeah, we're not super rich.
I just joke.
I'm talking about millionaires or billionaires. Millionaires or billionaires.
Never met a billionaire.
Have
but I've
you
met a
ever-
millionaire.
Have you ever?
Football players, does that count?
Yeah.
No, I'm saying, have you ever met, like, a millionaire family or a billionaire family, and their kids are either
I've seen
one,
both
no,
sides.
like I said, either one, yeah, spoiled, or seen the other side of, like, they're one of the greatest people that you could say
I've seen
that
both
you've met.
sides.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, but that's what you get. And it didn't come from where It didn't come from the money or wealth. It came from the family's morals and values and what the parents said this.
But you'll
and it's
see,
that same quote that we talked about when the two sons saw their father drink. One son became an alcoholic. The other son became not an alcoholic and very successful.
Yeah. But,
perspective.
Okay, that's a good story because what.
But the
they both
dad
grew
didn't
up,
teach anything.
Yeah, but both of the kids grew up in the same environment. But what makes both of them decide the path to in which they
and
decided?
that's what we were
What
talking
is
about.
that?
I think it's
Is that genetics?
Mental toughness.
They grew up in the same situation though. They're twins.
I think
thing.
it's
One-
very. I
one
think
is
there's very small variables. I think it could be like
Is that love?
friends. No, I think it could be like you and he got different friend groups
I still think
that stir him different ways. But one person can change your life. Like one of his friends could have literally told him, "Hey man, like I got your back. Don't go down this path," and held him accountable.
Yeah,
the other brother might have not had that friend.
Do you agree?
It's little things that could change.
So do you agree if two twins that live that had the exact same value, exact same friends, which is impossible, exact same everything, but you think it's possible for them to choose different paths?
I mean,
you know what I'm saying? If they had the
it's
exact
impossible.
same,
Yeah.
I mean it's
It's just-
impossible. But I still think
you can't
if that's
say.
real, I still think that's. I don't think it's.
I don't know. Do you think each person has a soul?
Yeah. So it comes to
An
the point
individual
with,
soul?
No,
Yeah, so it
genders
comes-
don't have
This
souls.
comes down to like faith. Like, do you think that
I think we were all born with a different,
heartbeat?
I guess, foundations of
morals and shit.
morals and.
Well, I don't know if we were
and-
born with. I mean, think when you're a baby, you don't.
Some people,
You're innocent.
Yeah, some
Babies
people come
are
out
innocent.
crying, some people don't. Like, what does that? I mean, like,
Well, that's like if
But
your
I'm
fucking
just
head
saying-
was smashed in there, and you're like,
I'm just saying, like, I mean,
you're
some
coming
babies,
out crying like
some
"Son."
babies come out with different personalities, right?
No, they do.
What about twins?
I mean, not personalities.
identical.
They
Like,
come
some
out in
babies you
different.
slap won't cry.
act-
Some babies
they-
you slap they cry.
Don't
Some babies
don't
you
hit the
shake.
baby.
I'm just joking.
You don't shake babies.
I'm just kidding.
Okay.
But you don't believe it. You don't believe everyone has a unique soul, though.
No, what I'm
100% they do.
I think they do too. So I think
A lot of genetic. Okay, so you have certain genes that like you have certain genes that are genetic. Okay, so you learn this in like psychology or in
Shane has blue genes.
biology and stuff like that. Certain genes, you will get certain traits from your parents that are genetically passed on.
Dominant and
and
recessive.
alcoholism is one of those
Recessive
genes.
trait.
okay. So what's
So what's crazy
It's true,
is
actually.
if the dad was
The addictive
young
traits.
enough and he was already an alcoholic, technically he already passed those alcohol.
we're talking
They are
about-
more susceptible, but technically have a
because
gene.
those traits are sitting in their body already.
Those traits are already sitting in their body. But your gene has chromosomes, right? Listen, literally,
Is this-
okay,
is
they've
this
done
DNA?
studies. No, because I'm trying to show you. Literally, there's a switch. Okay, I've learned this. What'd you say, Scissor?
go, keep talking.
No, I'm trying to show you a little switch right here. Okay,
Scissor.
literally, listen. There is genes that can switch on and off, and they've learned this in genetic code that if you go through a certain factor, you can literally flip a gene, and it can turn you into like a bipolar gene.
So like,
Yeah, I see my brother.
Yo,
go
yeah,
through that.
yo.
But no, that's not the question. Though, do you believe in the soul? So I'm straight off the like.
No,
you
but
don't believe-
I'm going into that. I was just
Oh,
going in
okay.
deeper. But what I'm just saying
I
is
know
like
that.
you
so
want to know the
genetics.
science behind it.
Yeah.
The listeners don't know.
What I'm saying is the genetics behind it. So you have a
Dr.
certain, you already
Moody.
have a certain genes that you can't change, or I mean, I guess
you
you could
can.
flip the switch.
Look at Deadpool.
But fuck that. No.
That's a good movie.
Great movie.
Yeah.
But-
But like he had
Into-
recessive traits, like superhuman traits, and then he got suffocated, and then he
And
turned
he turned
into
him on?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Flip this.
Flip
yeah,
the
tra-
switches on.
switch, yeah. What I'm saying is, when you're a baby, though, you almost like basically how we're born innocent, where we learn evil, right? I mean,
no.
Yes.
I don't. I think we all
Yes.
have good and evil in us within.
nah.
Uh-huh.
You're not
Think-
born evil. A baby's never born evil.
No,
I think you're
we're-
taught. You're taught evil.
No, I think we're all born with good and
see.
evil.
That's a different perspective. See, I would.
I think we're
I
all
don't
born with
think-
good and evil. So you're saying
You think when you literally can't speak, talk, anything, that you already have evil inside of you?
Yeah, actually,
Good
I
and
do
evil.
100% agree with that now that I think about it. Because you
Yeah.
could have a kid, you could have like a 2-year-old suffocate the shit out of something because it just enjoys that.
yeah, there's
I'm sure there's
And where
stories of
does it
places
learn?
of like,
Yeah.
At some point, you see.
where does the good come from? Why is that?
There's
that
different
defines-
because I'm trying to think of what Tim
That-
Grover talked a little bit
I mean,
about
that's
this. and I'm trying to
morals. Like
think.
you know what's good and what's bad from the start.
I think that's
Why?
genetic.
How do we
though.
know that?
Spirit.
Though?
So-
there has to be an opposite to know that if it's good or bad.
I don't think you're
right.
So you're saying
'Cause,
you
like,
can be
life-
born.
okay,
Life is balanced, bro.
Okay, I
Like
get this.
everything.
You're
has
saying
to
your
have
baby's
balance.
evil. I think that's a part of the genetics that you might get passed from your
no,
parents.
that's a
that
spirit, bro.
Yeah,
No.
we're animals. Look at other animals. They all
Sharks
have good.
born evil. No. Bears
What?
born evil.
They're not born evil. They're born in their natural instinct. And sharks
and
are.
their natural
Well,
instinct.
I guess what's the definition of? Because if you look at animals, like
You guys
there's
are
no
literally
such-
saying like a little kid could be born and he
you
yes,
can.
will kill people
Yeah.
right away.
dude. A
Okay.
7-year-old, I
If
guarantee
you
you,
had
is
the, if you
So I
had-
want you guys to watch a
Okay.
show. I think there's a Netflix show. It's like about serial killers, and it goes into their minds. I want you guys to watch that and then come back and then tell me your answer. Because
Okay.
here's the thing:
You go watch
almost
David Peterson and look
Oh.
at his YouTube videos, and he's a psychologist in Canada. He'll talk about it too. So
Yeah.
you go watch that and let me know.
okay. But I'm talking about killers, and they say
Yeah,
every killer.
he interviewed killers.
Every killer had mental issues because of shit that
Okay.
they went through,
Okay, wait,
Yeah,
wait.
or their parents
Ted
taught
Bundy.
them bad
Ted
shit.
Bundy. Ted
That's
Bundy.
what mostly happened.
Explain that one.
I'm just saying. Tell me.
Ted Bundy thought he was the fucking God's greatest shit on earth.
Yeah, so I was listening to Dr. Peterson, which he interviewed. We went to like a prison with a bunch of murderers, and he said the scariest thing is that when you talk to these murderers, they're just as normal, I guess, in the sense of some of these murders were just as normal as he was. Like
Yeah.
they were
Well,
just
you're
like
still
him.
functionally human.
But I'm saying that we all have a dark side to us, even from birth. Because in my sense, in my opinion, I think with good there's evil, right? I mean, because what's considered good without evil? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you're
Yeah,
saying if
well,
you're
it's
born with
perspective.
good, if you're born with good, then there has to be evil because there's nothing.
But
There's always a
we
balance.
have what good and evil is to us. When you're a baby, you don't even
That's
know
what-
what good
then
and
it
evil
comes
is.
to yeah. I
But you
understand
guys are
that.
saying that babies are reacting to their natural instinct to
yeah.
as an animal instinct to maybe
So-
strangle
A
someone
spirit.
because that might be an animal instinct to fight
Yeah.
or to eat.
But
Right? Babies don't learn how to
That's the point, though.
babies
is-
don't learn how to breastfeed. They just know that that's their no, but this is real. Like babies don't learn that. They just know that like they need food
Yeah.
because they got to live. So or they need milk.
sucking on some titties, man.
So they got to live.
Well-
All I'm saying is that's a natural instinct.
So good
Yeah,
and bad is
suck on some
natural.
titties.
Because
No, good and bad is a perspective because your good and bad could be someone's different.
good
Someone's
and bad
different.
It's a human made up thing, right?
Yeah, good
So
and bad
our,
is a
our natural
human-made.
instincts of killing because we're natural.
natural
we're natural
instincts-
killers in general.
Natural instincts are
To
So
kill
you don't-
and
But we
hunt.
know not to.
Yes.
Is that bad?
No.
no, it's not.
Well, we
we're
would consider
calling
that
no,
bad.
yeah,
Yeah,
you
now
guys
we
are
will.
calling it evil.
And
So
I,
th-
well,
this
I
is where
only
I
called
dis-
it evil because we consider that evil in society.
We still go kill and hunt because we go kill and hunt animals. But you know it's wrong to go kill and hunt a person. Whereas
But what? Not back in the
in
day.
war, it's not bad to kill and hunt a person down because you could literally go killing and hunting a person, but in your mind, it's the greatest thing to be going and doing. You
Okay,
don't
let me-
think the
okay.
dudes that were in Navy
I
SEALs.
know what you're saying.
You don't think the dudes that were Navy SEALs like, oh, we probably shouldn't kill Osama bin Laden, but it's the right thing to do. Fucking killed his ass.
Okay, I think.
I know. Well,
good and bad are
that's
human
once
made
you
up-
get your conscious. Okay,
good
you
and
know,
bad are
I gotta.
human made up.
You guys got to learn the
definitions.
stages of like how the brain develops also with it. So, but when you're freshly born, is what I'm saying is you don't have the conscious thought of what you are doing. You are going off your instincts. And if we want to call humans as mammals, right? Our natural instincts. What you're saying is like the evil that you're born with is the natural instinct.
Well,
That's what I'm disagreeing.
I only
with.
called it evil because of what society
Okay, so
considers
then-
violent as evil.
So what
Right.
I'm saying is, yes, then I do
Good
agree.
and evil
yes.
are human made up definitions, man.
Okay,
Like, if you
I
look at-
agree that
there's no such thing as. Well, I'm not gonna say. Actually don't know.
I agree that humans are born with natural instincts to fight, eat, socialize, like all those natural
everything,
instincts.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. But I don't believe that like that's evil.
Well, society would think it's evil, but yeah, it's because society created that definition, right? So,
But I think I don't know.
It's not, I know what you're saying.
I mean, we'll have to research it, but I'm pretty sure every kid, almost every kid, like who has done something harmful towards another human, has done something way out of like just like an animal instinct, was taught or seen that and then did it and reacted. Because especially when you're 1 to 2 years old, you start to get a piece of your brain where you start mirroring what you're seeing.
yeah. A lot
So
of
when
kids
you
do
make
that.
a face at a baby, they start to smile because when you're smiling, if you go like this or something like that, they'll interact with it. Those are the phases of the brain, and that's what you learn in psychology. Now, like I said, Christian was like, well, a 2-year-old could go strangle a kid. At some point, what I'm saying with this Netflix show, what I was telling you guys is every serial killer that they've talked to always had some type of bad childhood that led them into that. Almost, I think it was like 99% of them when I was watching it. There was not one that was like, I had a great childhood and I just became to shoot some motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to say, is that you have animal instincts that we could say are good and evil, but you're also taught evil, like what we say is evil of killing people or harming people is taught through parents, friends, things that you see. That's what I'm saying with that.
all right.
That's my opinion, and all I'm saying is it's been researched a lot that a lot of people who have mental issues come from bad childhoods or come from bad friend groups or bad parents, or they've been taught it.
Yeah, but it comes to the
You
point.
get what I'm saying?
It comes back just to the definition of good and evil, correct? So what's considered evil? What's the definition? Is it the conscious decision of hurting or doing bad, or is it just doing bad? Because as a kid, I don't know if kids actually have the conscious decisions to make that decision to do bad, right? To hurt somebody, to do that.
Yeah.
But as you get, obviously, when you gain more consciousness and you have the capability to actually make that decision, is that, like, I guess what's the definition of
Yeah,
evil?
I mean, well, that's what's tough is like, did the 2-year-old like,
Well, in my opinion,
is the 2-year-old killing this kid, or is he like punching this kid because something pissed him off?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So it's all like it
just goes back to
it's all like what's going on in the situation.
it just comes back to the point that I truly believe when we come out of the womb, that we have a soul
Yeah,
that has the
I think we have a
capability.
soul that has the capability to go a lot of different things, do
That has
good and evil.
Yeah, that has good and evil, and we have the the environment that we grow up in, and the decisions that we make determine what side we want to bring out, right?
Yeah.
So
So
our point at the beginning was: does the baby have good and evil, or have a soul, right?
Correct.
the baby has a soul.
The answer is yes.
But it has,
And the baby has instincts,
which we
but to act
society
upon
considers-
those instincts, you
Yeah.
are taught.
There's influence from society.
There's influences.
The
around.
baby has a soul, influence from society, yes. Correct.
he just wants to move on.
No, but that's what I'm saying. But
Yeah, except we both. Okay. Right.
yeah,
All right.
but
You both agree.
All right. I think we.
but there, I mean, no, but it's interesting because you learn a lot of this in psychology. You probably would have been very interested in psychology because they've also done a lot of studies where they'll grow these kids up right when they come out of the womb. They took kids away from their parents
That's
for like
messed
4
up.
years,
That's messed
and
up.
they learned what they did, and a lot of them.
Evil or
Yeah.
good? Which one?
No, they did. That's what I'm saying. What they did was more just
Okay,
animal
here's
instincts.
a
All they
question for
wanted
you.
to do was like.
Was it immoral?
No, all they wanted to do is eat, drink, and literally like didn't they didn't know how to
What about a
interact
feral
because they were
child?
never
What
taught
about a
anything.
feral child?
Does that make sense?
What about
Yeah,
a
but
feral
that's what's
child
weird
that's
to
raised
think.
It
by
just comes back
wolves?
to the definition of what's evil and good. So is evil I want to emphasize the conscious decision of hurting.
Yes.
Doing so, okay, so that's evil. Then
I think evil is a conscious intention.
yeah, but
So that's why I was disagreeing that I think
Yeah.
you have a soul, but I don't think you, as a baby, you don't consciously know what's evil. Do you get what
yeah,
I'm
I
saying?
know. You just have your. But I'm saying,
You just have a soul, but
we do have that
you
foundation
act
within
upon-
us that's considered evil to come out, right? So
Mhm.
yeah. And
It
we
just
talked
depends,
about
like,
it.
what
I
the
think everyone's
definition-
got a dark side for sure. And
exactly.
that's what we
No,
talked about.
everybody definitely has a dark side. Like,
But Christian said that like sharks are born evil. No, sharks are just born with
What
what
about
what
kids
their
that are raised
instincts
by
are. What are
wolves?
sharks made to do? They're born in water to just
So-
go eat. And
so you're
they're feeding
you're
themselves.
saying so that this comes back
I'm just
to
saying
the,
sharks aren't
the
evil.
definition.
Animals aren't evil at
Yeah,
all.
so that comes to the definition.
They
of
do
being
what they are-
conscious. But are they conscious? We don't know. Am I
Animals?
saying that right? I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
like conscious.
Can they actually think and say, I want to kill this motherfucker today?
No,
Maybe
they-
apes.
Monkeys.
Apes are starting to use
monkeys
tools
have
now.
learned.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they've learned more about animals.
But they be
that.
they're freaking crazy. I don't know
Yeah.
if you see them in the woods. They be giving other
But yeah,
monkeys
I
their
mean
hands.
they do all those studies. Like clearly they've learned.
fights with
Oh,
kangaroos.
that's crazy. Did you see the human fight? That was funny. He punches
But
him
yeah,
just a kangaroo.
Animals are conscious. Animals are conscious in a way.
This guy just punched me.
It's like square up, motherfucker.
But yeah, it's you're
Yeah, they're
you
conscious
want-
in a way. They're just not as intellectual in us. They can't speak a whole bunch of different languages, but they know they interact. I mean, that's all the studies they do with monkeys and rats and stuff like that. They know they can do different things, but I don't know what piece it is in your head, but clearly there's a piece of their brain, whether it's the occipital lobe
Frontal
or
lobe.
whatever, the frontal lobe the frontal lobe drives your instincts a lot. Your frontal lobe is
Good and evil.
no, that's what your frontal lobe is. Your instant your gratification lobe. So when you get gratification, your frontal lobe will send the neurons in, and you get adrenaline, stuff like that. That's like that frontal lobe. Like,
Thank you for
ooh, I
teaching
got.
me that.
Thank you. Yeah. So this was back in the day when they had a lot of people. When you get addicted to drugs, your frontal lobe is just on fire. And when they do CAT scans and stuff like that, they'll look at your brain and they'll be like, your frontal lobe is just going off because they'll know because that's your instant, your gratification
Your
place.
dopamine
Yeah, your
thingy.
dopamine and everything like that, where you're getting all that dopamine. But no, I don't know.
What do you mean you didn't know? You just did a.
Crazy talks.
Thank you for listening to Books and Brewskies, episode 24.
How long was that?
We've been going off. It's 11:30.
11:30.
Dang.
We gotta get up early.
Hey, there's some good information in there. I hope you guys like that. Some little
You
arguing.
guys should, next
some,
book that you guys should read should be something about like good and evil. Talk about this.
Yeah, we should read a psychologist book. I'll get it.
Boring.
I'll get it.
Boring.
I'll find one.
Let's read the CSCS NSCA book and learn about strength and conditioning.
Did you know? We can get the. I
Get
think
the
it's
fuck
called
outta
the
here.
CSM, which is the psychology book of all the mental illnesses, and we can learn. Did you know they put in that book? They put in burnout. Did you know burnout is an actual mental illness now?
Yeah, I believe that.
Like burning yourself out.
Yeah, burnout.
Yeah.
They made it. It's in the. I think it's called CS.
You know who
And,
burned me out? Elite Speed burned me out.
So what's the consequences of? Okay, what's it?
Like
about?
so it's a mental illness that you burn yourself out mentally, and basically you can get prescribed as
What?
that you have
Diagnosed.
burnout, and you
It
can
means
take work
diagnosed.
off.
You can get a diagnosis.
You
that
can
you're
get a
burned out.
diagnosis
You
and
can,
say that you have
get
burnout.
So,
a medical release from work.
Yeah,
where
medical
they pay
release.
you.
Hey, I could get a medical.
So what I'm saying is,
how do you?
I think
how
it's
do you
funny
prove
that.
To medical red shirt your first work.
So I think it's funny
First
that
year,
it's like a
med
mental.
paid.
I think it's a funny.
Nice.
It's funny that it's actually like a diagnosis now, but in all actuality, burnout is real.
It is
I mean,
real.
for real.
Yeah.
People fucking burn themselves out all the time.
It's
and
like
go-
overtraining.
Oh
all that
yeah,
stuff,
all the
yeah.
time. I think it's crazy that they put it as a mental illness, but
Because we're soft.
it's a real shit, and I think that is important, which is funny.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Good night.
Christian likes to just chime in and stir the pot at the end.
Correct.
Correct.
All right.
Any last words?
No.
Leave a review.
Donald Trump.
Like our YouTube channel.
No.
Sharks are evil.
Sharksareevil.com.
Donald Trump had the easy life.
.com.
.org.
I bet that's real.
.org.
Not .com.
.gov.
Conspiracy theories. Wayfair. Look
Google
into it.
Oh,
Scholar.
Wayfair. Yeah.
Wayfair.
Let's talk
Conspiracy
about that
theory.
really quick.
Let us know if you look
that
up
shit's
Wayfair.
insane. Look it up, bro.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way they're selling $13,000
We should
damn
order
cabinets.
one. We
I'm
should
not
pitch your
fucking-
money.
I'm not ordering a
and
kid.
ask-
Why? Do you want to know if it's real or not?
We could save
order
the
one.
kid.
We could actually. That's true. We could save the kid.
Yeah, let's do
Let's
it.
start a GoFundMe to buy all the Wayfair furniture. It's $20,000.
Yeah, right.
It comes in. It's John. We're
For,
like,
you guys-
what?
for those of you that don't know,
John's like,
some
okay.
conspiracy theory came out on Tuesday this last week, basically saying that Wayfair is involved in sex trafficking. Supposedly, if you go on their website, which we proved tonight, if you go on their website,
That's-
they're selling cabinets for like $20,000, but the cabinets are named after like kids' names, like Kaylin or.
That's weird.
There was one that
That's so bad.
it's weird that they're named
Yeah.
after that. They're like $23,000. Supposedly, if you look into it in Hillary Clinton's emails, now we're getting real deep in this conspiracy theory.
Hillary's coming up.
I want to hear it.
No, so if you go in Hillary, but somebody found out in Hillary Clinton's emails that if anybody's talking about like across, and this is like some Epstein shit, when they're talking about pizza delivery in like a high-ranking official's email, they're actually talking about sex trafficking and kids being delivered across shit. So like, oh, I ordered 3 pizzas to be delivered here.
I mean,
It's really
they
them
got
actually
all
like
code
it's
names.
code. It's code for, hey, we have 3 kids on the way to this, or 3
That's so-
sex trafficking victims on their way to this type of situation. This is some shit. I don't know how real it is. Who fucking even knows
No,
how
it's
real
definitely real. It's like
But,
we
like,
just walked.
But like then you get like
Maggie's
major
game,
companies
or-
like Wayfair's like in
Molly's
now
game.
supposedly involved in this conspiracy theory, and like every damn near billionaire millionaire in the world is involved in this. Hollywood's like you're getting Tom Hanks involved in this shit. Like conspiracy theories, fun shit. I like that.
Yeah.
Conspiracy
How about
theories are
UFOs?
fun.
Aliens. I love those.
Aliens are real.
Yeah, they are real. I've seen one.
I've seen it.
Seen it. Came from the sky.
Now what about ghosts? Are ghosts real?
Ghosts
Yeah.
are definitely well. They just came
100%.
out. That's funny. I just read an article.
Bro, I've
Spirits.
experienced that shit in real
Spirits.
life, bro.
I don't believe in.
I've experienced that shit.
Well,
Oh,
spirits, yeah.
my grandma has so much ghost, like real ass ghost stories. It's my mom's favorite thing. My mom and my grandma. She
I wanna go-
they had someone
We
die.
should sort of-
My grandma had a guy die in their house, and she would tell. She had like a basically. She knew this guy, and she said he was a friendly ghost. She said she had an evil ghost, and
named
she had a
Casper?
friendly ghost. But no, this guy, like she said, one night, she cleaned the dishes and everything like that, and literally like so like her little kitchen right here like walks kind of like goes to like the back patio, and she was like, yeah, I saw, like she's seen pictures of this guy, and she was like, I was washing the dishes, I looked to the right, and this guy just like walked by with his little top hat
Bro,
and just like walked
Side
out.
note,
And,
last night
and she was like, it's
ghosts
like-
are sketchy.
well, she always talks about like this evil spirit. There's evil spirits, and then there's spirits that you guys that are trying to cross over, that are in limbo,
Yeah.
and
Yo.
that's what ghosts are.
So
They're-
last
they don't
night-
know where they're going, hell or
I went to
heaven
go
or
walk
whatever
my
you believe
dogs last night.
in. All right, there wasn't a ghost outside.
No, I went to go walk my dogs last night.
There was an alien.
My dog Tycho's afraid of fireworks, so somebody shot a bottle rocket off. He turned around and decided to go home. So we go home. When I leave my house, the basement door is closed. Nobody's fucking home. I'm coming back in. I'm putting their leashes away in the little, like, we put them on top of the dryer. I'm putting them away. And I turn to my left, and this fucking door's opening on its own. Like, this shit's swinging open slow. That door was shut.
You
Bro.
don't know.
Shame.
That door was shut. Like, I have this
The door.
conspiracy theory that
The
that-
door opens.
Hello?
My name's Jeff.
I've
No.
seen those ghost ones.
Bro, I actually-
we should make those We should make a
Bro,
TikTok.
I have a ghost.
Bring that
I have a
back,
ghost
dude. That would
follows
become
me around.
That
famous.
was so funny.
Let's do. I'm
My
Jeff.
name's Jeff.
Yeah, let's do
My name's
that.
Jeff.
No one has done that on TikTok yet.
Yeah,
Let's
it's
fucking do
been
it.
a while. That's funny.
We should do that. That one will become famous because that one was a good video.
Oh
so
my
we'll just
God.
be like,
I think it's a ghost. My name's Jeff.
We'll do it after this. I'll be out the door and be like, my name's Jeff. That's funny. No, I mean that should.
Ghosts are real.
Okay, if we all believe in it, let's get the Ouija board out then.
Hell no.
Fuck that. I'm going home.
The
Hell
Ouija
no.
board.
Crazy.
I've talked to too many spirits and fucking experienced way too much shit. My dude, bro, here's one for you. 2016, my grandma dies. Okay. I had a full-on fucking conversation with her in a dream. Woke up and she was fucking there. Like, I heard her voice. Like, woke me up.
Yeah.
Like-
I've had that too with death. I think a lot of people have had that, and I think that really shows that there's like actual spirits.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because my parents had the same thing where Cody's had the same thing with his. Well, Cody, he just had a situation where he got really dehydrated and everything like that, and he passed out, and he said his friend that just died was like talking to him when he was passed out, and he's like, hey man, like you gotta wake up and stuff like that. And he's like, he heard that shit, and he was like, dude, that shit was real.
Weird.
And everyone who I've talked to have had people die. They're like, I've had some type of like talk to them, or it's some type of feeling.
I had a full-on dream.
And my parents,
well, I thought it was a dream.
my mom and dad, my dad's dad died, and he smoked a lot. My dad said very shortly after he died, my parents woke up to like cigarette smoke like in the room and smelled the smoke.
I got that chill smell. Look at that.
Yeah.
I got goosebumps.
And I was like that. I was like, and mom Kimbo was like straight up, she was like, you could smell like the cigarette smoke in the room.
Bro.
And my dad, like, they woke up at the same time and just fucking cigarette smoke. I was like, that's so wild.
Yeah,
There's just like,
I like
it's
full on had
crazy.
a dream where I was having a conversation with my grandma, but like then she told me to wake up, and I woke up and like fucking like it was the eeriest, weirdest like experience I've had. And I've had like beyond like before that, like I had multiple like experience with spirits and like apparitions, like ghosts, whatever, over the course of like 10 years, and that was the most like real experience like out of all of them. Mic drop.
That's crazy.
But that dimensions.
Thanks for listening to episode 24.